Welcome, welcome, welcome everyone. Welcome to another evening at Good Old Storytelling. This place has been a home for so many of us who have been here, who have learned storytelling here, and some of them who have been practicing the last 3 months, learning the craft, polishing it. And today they are here to share some of the stories they have crafted. The stories remind us of good old times, times when we had a lot of leisure. You would get bored, you would draw, write, read things randomly. We perhaps go out in the garden and touch things. There's a lot of nothing to do. They also remind us of people who were close to us. We would sit with our grandparents, with our parents, with our neighbors, and everyone seemed to be much closer together. You can just knock at your neighbors, and sometimes the door would actually be open. You can just walk into homes of neighbors. You would sit around angan, you can sit under the trees, and that is how humans have told stories. And now that the times are changing, we are reimagining the ways in which stories can continue to be told and spaces we can continue to create. And this is one such space. So, welcome all the storytellers and the members of their families and friends who have gathered here to listen to their stories. Welcome, all of you. To the audience, I have three requests to make. One, it would be lovely to see your faces. So please keep your camera turned on as much as you can. Storytellers, when they're telling their stories, it's so good to make eye contact. We would also request if you can stay muted, at least during the storytelling. Of course, by the end of the evening, we'll make time to listen to some of the audiences. I also know that we love to react with hearts and with a lot of thumbs up. And all of these reactions we can do once a performance gets over. So please wait until a performance settles down. Once a performance is over, for us to use the chat and use these reactions. Um, that's all I have. The third thing is to come enjoy the stories. So now I congratulate all the storytellers who are here and welcome our hosts for the evening. Let me welcome Tanvi and Deepti.
Hello, welcome everyone.
Hello. Okay, so we are your host, and we are also the first performer for this event. I will quickly introduce Dipti. She is a passionate learner and a passionate teacher, and she wants to combine math and art and bring newer things out. So she's here bringing the new story from Karnataka.
Yeah, thank you, Tanvi. So that is Tanvi. She's a artist, educator, and a therapist, and who loves stories, and she feels everything is a story. So here we bring in a folk tale from Karnataka. It is in the form of a poem, and it's a humble attempt to bring in the essence of poem and the narration. Uh, the story's name is Punyakoti. So here we begin the first story of the tonight, Punyakoti, for you. ಧರಣಿ ಮಂಡಲವತ್ಯದೊಳಗೆ ಮೆರೆಯುತಿಹ ಕರ್ನಾಟ ದೇಶದಿ ಇರುವ ಕಾಳಿಂಗನೆಂಬಗೊಲ್ಲನ ಪರಿಯ ನಾನೆಂತು ಪೇಳ್ವೆನು ಎಳೆಯ ಮಾವಿನ ಮರದ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಕೊಳಲನೂದುತಗೊಲ್ಲ ಗೌಡನು ಬಳಸಿ ನಿಂತ ಕರುಗಳನ್ನು ಬಳಿಗೆ ಕರೆದನು ಹರುಷದಿ ಗಂಗೆ ಬಾರೆ ಗೌರಿ ಬಾರೆ ತುಂಗಭದ್ರೆ ತಾಯಿ ಬಾರೆ ಪುಣ್ಯಕೋಟಿ ನೀನು ಬಾರೆ ಎಂದು ಗೊಲ್ಲನು ಕರೆಯಲು. In the womb of the earth was glorious Karnataka, and there lived a cowherd named Kalinga. He had lots and lots of cows. Every day he would take them to the forest for grazing. Under the mango tree, he would sit there, play his flute, and all the cows would happily listen to him. He would call them Gange, Gauri, Tungabhadre, and all of them would run to him and give him pots and pots of milk. Of all the cows he had, there was this cow, a special one, who was very honest and never told a lie. And she believed that truth was God, and she was Punyakoti. One such day, when all the cows were grazing in the forest, ಹಬ್ಬಿದ ಮಲೆ ಮಧ್ಯದೊಳಗೆ ಆರ್ಭುತಾನೆಂದೆಂಬ ವ್ಯಾಘ್ರನ್ ಅಬ್ಬರಿಸಿ ಹಸಿ ಹಸಿದು ಬೆಟ್ಟದ ಕಿಬ್ಬಿಯಳು ತಾನೆದ್ದನು. ಸಿಡಿದು ರೋಷದಿ ಮೊರೆಯುತ್ತಾಹುಲ್ ಗುಡುಗುಡಿಸಿ ಬೋರಿಡುತ್ತ ಚಂಗನ್ ತುಡುಕಲರಗಿದ ರಭಸ ಕಂಜಿ ಚೆದರಿ ಹೋದವು ಹಸುಗಳು. That was Arbhuta, the hungry, ferocious tiger, who lived in the same forest at the top of the mountain peak in his cave. He was very hungry. He looked at the cowherd who was grazing there. He took a leap and all the cows went helter-skelter. But Punyakoti ಎಂಬ ಹಸುವು ತನ್ನ ಕಂದನ ನೆನೆದುಕೊಂಡು ಮುನ್ನ ಹಾಲನು ಕೊಡುವೆನೆನುತ ಚಂದದೀತ ಬರುತ್ತಿರೆ. All Punyakoti could think of about her little kid who was back in the shed. She wanted to feed him, just thinking about when will I go back, when will I feed my baby. She, without even realizing, she was right in front of the hungry tiger now. He wanted to pounce on her, slice her stomach, eat her all up. But Punyakoti pleaded him, please let me go for this moment. I'll go, feed my baby and come back. And then you can eat me all up. I promise to come back. But the tiger wouldn't agree. He said, who would come back to die? I will not let you go. You are lying, he said. But Punyakoti very beautifully said, Satyave namma tayi tande, Satyave namma bandhu balaga, Satyavakyake tappi nadedare mechchana paramatmanu. She said, truth is my mother, truth is my father. And if I break this, God will not forgive me. God will not approve of me. I can't do it. So I promise I will come back. The tiger agreed and Punyakoti left to feed her calf.
ಮೂಲಿಯನು ಕುಡಿಯಲಮ್ಮ ಆರಬಡಿಯಲಿ ಮಲಗಲಮ್ಮ ಆರು ಸೇರಿ ಬದುಕಲಮ್ಮ ಆರು ನಿನ್ನಗೆ ಹೆತ್ತವರು. She slowly reached to her shed. When she reached, the baby jumped and hugged her and said, Amma, where did you go? We were so worried for you. Punyakoti very lovingly carries the baby and said, first drink your milk and then I'll tell you everything. After some time, she recounted how the tiger captured her, how it wanted to eat her, and how Punyakoti requested the tiger to let her meet the baby for the last time. She also mentioned how she has promised the tiger that she has to go back. Hearing this, the baby started crying and said, don't go, Amma. If you go, I'll be an orphan. Who will give me milk? With whom shall I sleep? Who will take care of me? Please do not go. She looked at the baby and said, I have given my word to the tiger. I have to go. Then she looked at the fellow cows and said, sisters and mothers, the one who grew with my mother, take care of this baby. After I go, he'll be an orphan. Do not hurt him with your hooves. Do not hurt him with your horns. To the baby, she said, the Runanubandhan we had is over. And with that, she went back to the cave. She reached the mountain top and she stood there looking in the eyes of the tiger and said, see, I'm here. Take my body parts. Take my flesh. Take the blood in my heart. Take me whole. Eat me, brother, and be happy. The tiger couldn't believe what he says, what he saw. He was so nervous and agitated. "Uh, what have you done?" He looked at Punyakoti and said, I can't eat you now. If I eat you, where will I go? He walked towards the end of the mountain top. He looked ahead and saw the sun was still not up. It was still dark. Finally, he saw the ray of light. He looked back at Punyakoti and said, Go back to your world. Go back to your baby. Feed him one more time. He told himself, she gave up her life for a promise. I do not know what can I do. There's only one thing that can measure up that with that thought. He saw the light and he jumped off the cliff, his body banging the earth, the blood oozing out. And Punyakoti stood there, looking at the sun rising up.
Right. Thank you, Tanvi. Thank you, Deepti. How do you feel?
Oh, I feel very emotional, but yeah.
Yeah, it was like, when will this be over? And now, why did this even over?
That's a fantastic and contradictory emotions, isn't it? Wondering when will this get over, and the moment it gets over, it just got over. Thank you for naming it. Anything you want to speak, both of you?
Yeah, I would want to. I mean, just that I have prepared for this. I want to tell. I'm just so grateful that I joined this, first of all, and I just love how the entire course was curated, and we got to learn, and it has opened so many things other than the techniques specifically. It has opened up which I can work on myself as well. Just wanted to be grateful for everybody who is involved in this, and thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, the entire process was very interesting. I'm not originally from Karnataka. I don't speak Kannada. This is my first time because she mentioned this story and I jumped because it was so beautiful. So the entire process of first understanding the language, the emotion, the characters, what would have they thought. We were also discussing that it was easier for me to tap into the mother-child relationship. It's very easy to understand the emotion. But what would have Tiger thought when and why would he jump and take his life? So we were also in that process of discovering the tiger's psyche. I think that entire process of understanding each character in the story was very, very interesting. So yeah, I think it that really stood out for me. And I like wrote in layers what would have Tiger thought at every point. I actually went into that skin of Tiger to understand if I would have been the tiger, what would have been my mindset. So that was interesting for me.
Thank you. You have picked a beautiful story, but you've also given it a lot of life with your thoughts, with your words. Thank you, Deepti. Thank you, Tanvi. And take us to the next story, which I heard is about a little boy who claims that he knows everything. Everything. Tell us more about it.
Yes, so up next we have Praveena, who is bringing us a piece of literature from Telugu about a boy, and naughtiness of his imagination, and then his unfiltered brain, especially. So let's get into his world through Praveena. Praveena, over to you whenever you're ready.
Once there was a village. village full of voices, voices of people, animals, and birds, but not devices. What a privilege to live in such a world. Let's meet a little boy from that world today. Budugu, Allari Pidugu. There is no one in the village who doesn't know him for his naughty, mischievous acts. Let us listen what Budugu wants to share with you all today. Na peru Budugu. I have so many favorite things. I love my Amma and her smile. I too can smile like her. I love my Nana and I love to sit on his shoulders and see the world from there. I love my Bamma. She is the sweetest of all, you know. She never lets anyone say a word, even when I do the naughtiest thing. And I like my Baba a little. You know, he is my Nana's brother. He goes to college. He asks me to give his love letters and messages to his college female friends. I know he is using me. And yeah, I have so many favorite things. I like pakodilu, chocolatelu, jilebilu, jangrilu, and ice creamlu. And yeah, I love my birthday. You know, I recently celebrated my 6th birthday. But after my 6th birthday, some tuition masters coming to tutor me. These tuition masters are not good. You know, all the tuition masters are the same. They don't know how to tutor little kids. They will give us big calculations. And if not answered correctly, they will scold us. And sometimes they will pinch us on thighs. And when my Bama sees those calculations, she says, Amma baboy, ఎంత పెద్ద లెక్కో. But Bama don't even know A. But when the master comes, she welcomes him and says, Rendu naina, kurchondi. Is this fair? All these tuition masters are the same. In the beginning, they'll bring me chocolates. They'll give me 1 or 2. But nobody asks me, Amma Budugu, nik chocolate listama, pakodi listama. They should be asking me, right? They bring me chocolates and offer 1 or 2. And they ask me to solve. Budugu, if I give you 10 chocolates and you ate 2 of them, how many will be left? I will answer something because he didn't give me 10 chocolates, right? In the beginning, he deals softly. After 2 days, he starts scolding me. నేనేమైనా చిన్నవాడినా చితకవాడినా? As if I am any little or less. How can he scold me? That's why I say, Master, నా అంత వాడే లేడు. There is no one as big as me. Then the master gets angry and he gives an expression on his face and then starts scolding me again. And later, without my notice, he complains to my Nana. Why should he complain? That's why I get angry. నేను కూడా కోప్పడేస్తాను. I also scold him back. And that master never show up again. But then comes the new tuition master. I think he is the 10th tuition master working for me. But everyone believes in the tuition master as if he is a good fellow. My Nana, my Amma, my Bama, everyone scolds me. Nana says, భయం లేకుండా పోతుంది రౌడీ రాస్కెల్. Amma says, రోజుకి పోకిరి వెదలా తయారవుతున్నావే. Bama says, హారిపిడిగా ఏంటి నాన్న ఈ అల్లరి. And my Baba says my education is a problem. Problem is searching for new tuition master. But you know what? There is no one willing to tutor me. Is anyone of you interested to tutor me? Don't worry. I can give you some nice tips on how to tutor little kids. But you are all also elders like my old tuition masters. Why am I sharing this with you? I better go and play. Bye. Thank you.
That was very, very nice. How do you feel now after you've completed?
I'm so happy that I could really deliver this to audience in the right way. I'm so, I love reading, but I'm not a person who writes, and to translate this also is very scariest thing for me. But the desperation to introduce this masterpiece of Telugu to the audience is something that kept me working on this, and with the help of Ankit sir, Swati ma'am, Sarvika, and all my co-learners, yeah, I could do this. And yeah,
Ravina, you
coming
want to tell us a little about Budugu? Where does this come from? When have you read it first?
this is from this is a literature in Telugu, which was by Mullupudi Venkatramana garu. Back then in 1950s, he has written this book, and the whole book speaks about how the boy, the unfiltered brain of the boy. It's very, very funny, and I read it several times, and yes, that I wanted to share this with the audience.
Thank you. I think it's a very challenging task to bring a comic book to life, you know. Often short stories are relatively easier, but a comic book with more visuals and very short narrations to translate into a story to be told, I think you have done an incredible job. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Pravina. And I see a hand raised up in the air that can't wait. So let's hear quickly, Ranjini.
నేనేం చిన్నవాడినా చితకవాడినా ఫ్యాంటాస్టిక్ జాబ్ Ravina. I loved it. I am Telugu, so I could understand everything of what you said. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. As you would notice in this edition, we have made an attempt to bring stories from many, many regions with the support of translation. So you will hear some regional flavors from Gujarat, from Bihar, from Tamil Nadu, from Andhra, and you'll continue from Karnataka, and you will see both the regional flavors supported with Hindi and English. And now I think I can hear some jungle noises. What is it, Tanvi? What's happening there?
We have a new story about the zebra and a lot of emotions. So, presenting Mukti and Achal with their stories. Over to you.
Once upon a time, somewhere deep in the forest of Africa, there lived a zebra. She was a very happy zebra, and her name was Zelda. Zelda had these beautiful black and white, or white and black, I think black and white stripes. And Zelda would sing her happy song. Yites, yites, I love my pretty stripes. Yites, yites, I love my pretty stripes. I love my pretty stripes. Zelda would go prancing in the jungle and reach a pond. On the way to the pond, she would admire these beautiful pink flowers and blue flowers, oh, purple flowers. And Zelda would eat the fresh grass, meet her zebra friends, drink some water, and then come back prancing, tired, to her tree canopy. But she would never miss washing her stripes and putting them to dry. Now, when the stripes were drying, Zelda would some days nod off. And today was a day when she went into a sleep. And when she woke up, where are my stripes? Where are my stripes? My stripes are missing. There was a monkey up on the tree who heard Zelda, and he said, "Oh my God, who is making this racket? Who is wailing?" And the monkey came from the tree down, jumping from tree to tree. And he saw a white horse. Are you making all this racket? Oh, I am not a horse. I am a zebra. I lost my stripes. Please help me find my stripes. Okay. Let me think. If you make so much of noise, I am getting a headache. I can't think. Now the zebra started thinking and thinking and thinking, and then he came with a bucket full of paint and a paintbrush. Yeah, he had that in the jungle. And he asked Zelda, "Can I paint some stripes on your body?" "Oh, no, please don't paint on me. I want my stripes. But if you want the stripes, I need to paint you." Okay. Now, the monkey started painting stripes on Zelda one by one. He started painting with 1, 2, and 5, and 50, and 100. Zelda had hundreds of stripes on her body. And she looked at herself in the puddle, so happy. Yeah. Wow, I got my stripes back. And you know which song she started singing? Yipes, yipes, I love my pretty stripes. Yipes, yipes, I love my pretty stripes. Zella was happy. She started admiring some butterflies around, the blue butterfly and the rainbow butterfly and the orange butterfly and the monkey. Of course, he went back up on the tree into his nap. And then the monkey heard some sound. Doom, doom, tip, 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 tip. You must have guessed what happened. Well, it started raining. And you know what happened to Zelda? Well, she was all wet. And then, my stripes are gone again. I want my stripes. And the monkey on the tree said, Oh no, Zelda, not again. And he came down. He looked at Zelda. There was a white zebra in a puddle of black water.
And Zebra started crying and crying. Ah, lost my stripes. Then the monkey said, Stop! Stop crying! Stop making this racket! Let me think of something else. I have an idea. Maybe we can go to the king of the jungle. But my stripes. So both the monkey and the zebra went to the lion's den. And what do you think? What's inside the den? There is a sleepy lion. And then monkey said, Sir, I'm the man with the monkey, sir. We need your help. And suddenly the lion wakes up. Shh, who wakes up the sleepy lion? Can't you see I am sleeping? Then the monkey said, Sir, but we have the problem, sir. The zebra. Zebra? Who? This white donkey? I'm not the donkey. I'm the zebra. I lost my stripes. Then the monkey said, Yes, sir, yes. This is the problem, sir. We have to find our stripes. Okay, you do look strange. Let me think of something. Maybe I can announce in the jungle. That's all I can do. So all of them went out of the den, and Lion walked nicely, very nicely, and he announces and he roared. Come forward, anyone who has the stripes. Kindly return it. I will not eat you. And the whole jungle went silent. And suddenly, there is a voice coming from the background, somebody bouncing and singing, Yipes, yipes, I got the zebra stripes. Yipes, yipes, I got the zebra stripes. And everybody went shocked. It was Sher Khan. And I got the zebra stripes, and the lion got shocked. You got the stripes? And then the monkey said, and the zebra said, You have my stripes. Then the tiger said, Yes, I got the stripe because mine got dirty and I want some brand new stripes, so I wore it then. Then the lion said, But you took it without the permission. Kindly return it back. Then the Sher Khan says, Okay. Then the Sher Khan quickly remove the stripes and give it to Zelda. And Zelda put on the stripes very happily, and he started his song again. Can you all sing with me? Can you guess? Yikes! Yikes! I got my pretty stripes. Yikes! Yikes! I got my pretty stripes. I got my pretty stripes. And everybody went happily. But suddenly there's a voice coming from the background again. And everybody started looking at Zelda. Then the Zelda said, No, it wasn't me. I got my pretty stripes. So everybody looked here and there. They looked down and they look up. Can you guess? Can you guess? Can you make it a guess? Who's that animal? It was giraffe. And giraffe said, I lost my spots. And everybody was like, oh no, here we go again. Yeah. Thank you.
That was so fun. Thank you, Mukti. Thank you, Anchal, for taking us to that world. How did you come up with this?
So it's kind of funny that till now I was seeing a zebra in my room, and right now I can see an elephant, but that story for some other day. Right now, I want to thank Ankit for a wonderful course. I really enjoyed it, and all the peer learning sessions, whichever I could attend, were very enriching. I think I have already told some of my teacher friends that maybe you should consider doing this, because they were so excited when I told them that I'm doing something like this for past 3 months. They couldn't believe that is there a course like this for teachers, and it's been really wonderful journey. Thank you, Ankit, and thank you, Achal. I really had fun time doing the story with you. Thank you so much.
I just want to add in that I really want to thank Ankit, Mukti, and all the participants who are here. Thank you so much, Ankit, for giving me this opportunity. I'm a really shy person. I mean, so I just don't know. After attending all the peer sessions, all our 3 months journey, it is very beautiful and will be a memory for me. And yeah, I just wanted to reflect Mukti as much as I can, and she is a wonderful writer. So yeah, I mean, I just don't know how to make my feelings into the words, pour my feelings into the words.
That's okay. I think we are all there. We are all speechless today. I loved how you both are even coordinating in your dress. I could see the efforts that you took. Now we have to come out from that beautiful world and be ready to enter a new world. It's the world of hell and heaven. And Madhulika is going to take us there. Over to you.
Priya was a 7-year-old child who loved spending time at her grandparents' house. One day, she found a peculiar looking lamp, so she picked it up. This was a metallic lamp with a long spout, and it had a beautiful design carved on it. She wanted to see the design, so she started to dust it off a bit. And that's it. Thick blue fog started coming up. She immediately put it down. But the fog didn't stop. It grew bigger and bigger, and now it started taking the shape of a man. He didn't have legs though. Instead, he had tail like a mermaid made of thick blue fog. And now he started speaking with Priya. Ha 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 ha. Hello, my friend. I am the genie, the keeper of dreams and wishes. I grant you 3 wishes. Priya couldn't believe any of this, but she asked the genie something immediately. Genie, I always wanted to visit the heaven and hell. Will you please take me there? The genie said, your wish is my command, my friend. And just like that, whoosh, they were at the heaven.
And if you can hear my voice, you can start to come back to our places, come back to our screens, and come back to welcome another story. Let me welcome our hosts once again, Tanvi and Deepti, who are taking us to yet another story. And now we have had enough of English. So we'll take a short break from English. And some of the stories in Hindi and more Indian languages would be coming now in this section. So Tanvi, take us there.
तो चारण कन्या मेरी भी बहुत चहेती कहानी है. So when I and Dipti were discussing, we had Charan Kanya also as one of the story. It's a beautiful story of this courageous girl in the heart of Gujarat. You wouldn't even think where the courage comes from or how. And she's going to really present it so well. I'm very glad, Krishna, you could do it. So Krishna is presenting Charan Kanya to all of us. Over to you.
14 વર્ષની ચારણ કન્યા ચુંદડિયાળી ચારણ કન્યા શ્વેત સુવાળી ચારણ કન્યા વાડી ફોડી ચારણ કન્યા લાલ હિંગોડી ચારણ કન્યા ઝાડ ચડંતી ચારણ કન્યા પહાડ ઘુમંતી ચારણ કન્યા झूबनवंती चारण कन्या. क्या आप जानते हैं कौन है चारण कन्या? चलिए चलते हैं गिर के घने जंगलों में, जहाँ पे खूंखार शेर बसते हैं. वहां पे चारण जनजाति के लोग नेस यानी कि कस्बा बनाकर रहते हैं और पशुपालन करते हैं. ऐसे ही एक कस्बे में रहती है 14 साल की मासूम सी भोली भाली हीरबाई, जो अपना सारा समय घर के कामों में या तो पशुओं को चराने में बिताती है. वैसे तो हीरबाई को अपने सारे जानवरों से बहुत लगाव है, पर एक बच्चिया उसको बेहद प्यारी है, जिसका नाम है वेडकी. हीरबाई का बस चले तो उसका पूरा समय वेडकी के साथ खेलने में और उससे बातें करने में बिता दे. एक दिन हमारे राष्ट्रीय शायर ઝવેરચંદ મેઘાણી नेस में मेहमान बनकर पधारे थे. शाम का समय था और रात्रि भोज की तैयारियां चल रही थी. हीरबाई आए हुए मेहमानों को खाना परोस रही थी. तभी बाहर से जोर से आवाज आई, ए हावज आयो, हावज आयो. हावज माने कि शेर आया था. शेर की रूह कंपा देने वाली दहाड़ सुन पूरा जंगल, पशु, पक्षी, पेड़, पत्ते, कस्बे के बूढ़े, बच्चे सब भय से कांप रहे. ये अपनी आंखों देख कवि शेर का वर्णन करते हैं. हावज गरजे वन रावण नो राजा गरजे, ગીરકાંઠાનો કે હરી ગરજે, રાવત કુળનો હરી ગરજે, કડપાતળિયો જોધો ગરજે, મોફાળીમાં તેલો ગરજે, નાનો એવો સમંદર ગરજે. एक खौफनाक शेर हीरबाई के बाड़े में आया और उसकी प्यारी बच्चिया को अपना शिकार बनाकर ले गया. जैसे ही हीरबाई ने देखा कि शेर उसकी बच्चिया को लिए जा रहा है, वो बिना किसी झिझक हाथों में लाठी लिए उसके पीछे दौड़ी. अब तक की भोली भाली हीरबाई दहाड़ लगाकर शेर के सामने ऐसे कूद पड़ी मानो वो असुरों से लड़ने वाली साक्षात मां जगदम्बा हो. आगजरंती चारण कन्या, नेस निवासी चारण कन्या, जगदम्बाशी चारण कन्या, डांग उठावे चारण कन्या, त्राळ गजावे चारण कन्या, हाथ हिलोड़ी चारण कन्या, पाछड़ दौड़ी चारण कन्या, 14 वर्षनी चारण कन्या. हीरबाई शेर के सामने जाकर उसकी आंखों में आंखें डाल खड़ी रही. अंधेरे में शेर की 2 अंगारे जैसी आंखें ऐसे चमक रही थी मानो बादल में से बिजली चमक रही हो. शेर अपना मुंह खोले ऐसे दहाड़ रहा था कि एक पल के लिए तो हीरबाई को ऐसा लगा कि साक्षात उसके सामने यमराज उसकी मौत लिए खड़े हैं. हीरबाई ने देखा कि वेडकी मर चुकी है, पर फिर भी वो बड़ी अड़गता से अपने हाथों से लाठी चलाते हुए शेर का सामना ऐसे कर रही थी मानो वो निष्प्राण वेडकी पर अपना हक जता रही हो. भूखा शेर अपने मुंह तक आया शिकार हाथों से जाता देख गुस्से से अपने 2 पैरों पर आ गया और जोरों से दहाड़ता रहा. पर हीरबाई लकड़ी चलाते वहीं डटी रही. कुछ पल बाद हीरबाई के इस अदम्य साहस और दृढ़ता को देख शेर की शक्ति मानो कम होती चली। शेर 2 कदम पीछे हटा और बछड़े को वहीं छोड़ वापस जंगल की ओर मुड़ गया। थैंक यू।
बहुत बहुत खूबसूरत थी कृष्णा जी। थैंक यू सो मच। तो आपने हमें चारण कन्या से मिलवाने के लिए बहुत शुक्रिया।
थैंक यू।
कैसा लग रहा है? कुछ शेयर करना
बहुत
चाहिए?
अच्छा, बहुत अच्छा।
मतलब
I'm very much thankful to Ankit for this and very grateful for this community also. And especially like to thank Hima for pushing me to do this course. Thank you, Hima. Thank you so much.
आपके चेहरे
बहुत
पर जब से आपने इस कहानी को तैयार किया, एक अलग ही तेज है, एक अलग ही चमक है जो हम सबको देखने को मिल रही है। ऐसा लग
Thank
रहा है
you,
कि
Ankit.
वो शेर भी आप है और फिर वो हीर बाई भी आप है, और फिर
Yes,
इस
because I'm belongs to Gir. मतलब
हाँ,
मेरा नेटिव है तो
आपने बहुत ही प्यारा काम किया कि वहां की एक कविता से, वहां के इतने प्यारे लेखन से हम सबका परिचय कराया। बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। आपकी भाषा, आपका उच्चारण, आपका पूरा कहानी सुनाने का अंदाज, और इस कहानी पे आपने जितनी मेहनत की है वो सब बहुत ही सराहनीय है। बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया कृष्णा।
thank you, Ankit.
थैंक यू।
okay. So moving on, we have Swati and Ria bringing us Gadhua. So a story of a donkey who turned into a man, or so they say. तो आइए जानते हैं कैसे एक गधा डॉक्टर और इंजीनियर बनना चाहता था पर बन गया एक काजी। स्वाति और रिया, गधुआ।
ये कहानी है उत्तर भारत से, और आज भी हर शहर, हर गांव में, हर घर में सुनाई जाती है। ये कहानी है एक काका की और काकी की, जो गांव वालों के कपड़े धोकर अपना गुजारा चलाया करते थे। उनकी कोई संतान तो नहीं थी, लेकिन उनके पास एक मोती नाम का गधा था, जिसको वो बड़े प्रेम से गधुआ बुलाते थे। काका की हमेशा से एक ख्वाहिश थी कि उनका गधुआ भी दूसरे बच्चों की तरह पढ़े लिखे और बड़ा आदमी बने। खैर, काका जब भी शाम को काम से घर आते थे, अपने मोती को बोलते थे, अरे गधुआ बोल ए आ इ ई। और गधुआ था जो कि बोलता था मोजू मोजू मोजू। अब ये तो हो नहीं सकता था ना। खैर, एक दिन काका किनारे गए, गंगा किनारे, और वहां पर वो कपड़े धो रहे थे। और उन्होंने क्या किया, उनको आवाज आई मौलवी जी की, जो कि बच्चों से कह रहे थे, उनका घर गंगा किनारे था ना मौलवी जी का, तो वो कह रहे थे, अगर शैतानी की ना तो मुझे गधे का आदमी बनाना आता है, तो सोचना भी मत। बस उस दिन काका के अंदर कुछ हुआ, और शाम को जब वो घर गए तो उन्होंने काकी को कहा, मैं सोचता हूं अगर हम अपने मोती को मौलवी साहब के घर पढ़ने भेजे तो क्या पता हमारा गधुआ भी आदमी बन जाए। काकी ने जब ये सुना, क्या हमारा गधुआ इंजीनियर डॉक्टर बन जाएगा? बहुत सही, करते हैं। दूसरे दिन काकी ने गधुआ को बड़ा सुंदर से सजाया, उसके कान सजाए, और काका, काकी और मोती पहुंच गए सीधा मौलवी साहब के घर के अंदर। वहां बैठे थे बच्चे, और बच्चों ने जैसे ही मोती को देखा तो वो चहचहाने लगे, चिल्लाने लगे। मौलवी साहब को समझा नहीं क्या करूं, बट जैसे तैसे चुप कराया। हाँ काका काकी, क्या हुआ, कैसे आए? हमें अपने बच्चे का दाखिला कराना है, इन बच्चों की तरह हमारे बच्चे को पढ़ा के होशियार कर दीजिए ना। हाँ हाँ, क्यों नहीं, कहाँ है आपका बच्चा? अरे ये है ना हमारा मोती, हमारा गधुआ, हमारा बचुआ। ये गधा, मैं गधे को पढ़ाऊंगा? क्या बात करते हो मौलवी साहब, आप ही तो बोलते हो आपको गधे का आदमी बनाना आता है, तो बनाइए हमारे गधुआ का आदमी। बोलता तो हूँ, अब फंस गया। अभी एक काम करता हूँ, पैसे की बात करता हूँ तो शायद काका काकी मान जाए। एक काम करो, 200 चांदी के सिक्के लगेंगे, और हाँ, 6 महीने का वक्त भी। हाँ हाँ, कर लेंगे कर लेंगे। ये सुनते ही काका काकी और मोती चल दिए गांव की ओर। और वहां उन्होंने जहां 10 घरों के कपड़े धोते था, 20 घरों के कपड़े लेना धोना चालू कर दिया। बहुत मेहनत की और जैसे तैसे सिक्के इकट्ठे हुए। फिर क्या था, जो थोड़ा कम बचा वो कर्जा लेना पड़ा। पहुंच गए मौलवी साहब के घर। ये लीजिए आपके 200 चांदी के सिक्के, और ये रही हमारी मन अमानत, हमारा मोती। बस बड़ा आदमी बना दीजिए इसको। हाँ हाँ, आना 6 महीने बाद। जैसे तैसे 6 महीने निकले। काका काकी को बड़ी याद आई मोती की। पहुंच गए काका काकी 6 महीने होते ही। मौलवी साहब 6 महीने की तारीख तारीख। हाँ हाँ, हमारा मोती अब बड़ा आदमी बन गया होगा ना। हाँ हाँ, बहुत बड़ा आदमी बन गया है। सिर्फ कद में ही नहीं, औकात में भी। तुम्हारा मोती बनारस का काजी बन गया, काजी। काजी बनारस का। अंत।
काजी बनारस का? देखे तो जाना तो पड़ेगा मिलने। जाएंगे, लंबा सफर है मगर जाएंगे। काजी मौलवी साहब ने कहा, अच्छा रुको, 6 महीने हो गए तुम्हें भूल ना गया हो। उसकी कुछ पसंदीदा चीज अपने साथ ले जाना जरूर से। जी जी, ले जाएंगे ले जाएंगे। फिर क्या था, घर की ओर निकले काका काकी। कपड़े बांधे, खाना बांधा, और बोरी में भर ली उसकी पसंदीदा चीज, ताजी कटी हुई हरी हरी घास, और साथ लेकर चल दिए बनारस की ओर। जैसे ही बनारस पहुंचे, आसपास कचहरी का पता पूछा, काजी साहब का पता पूछा, और जा पहुंचे काजी साहब की कचहरी। अब दोनों काजी साहब को देखकर बहुत हैरान हुए। काजी साहब न्याय दिला रहे थे, इंसाफ दिला रहे थे, लोगों की झगड़े सुलझा रहे थे, किसी की चोरी हो गई थी तो चोर को पकड़ा रहे थे। दोनों बहुत खुश हुए। थोड़ी देर बाद काका का हाथ धीरे से उठा और आवाज लगाने लगे, मोती मोती। काजी साहब ने अनदेखा किया। फिर काका ने दोबारा हाथ उठाया, मोती मोती। काजी साहब ने अपने मुलाजिम को भेजा, जरा देखो तो क्या चाहिए इन्हें, क्यों मोती मोती चिल्ला रहे हैं। जी जी, आता हूँ। क्या चाहिए आपको, क्यों आए हैं यहाँ। जी कुछ काम तो नहीं है, बस मिलने चले आए। माता पिता है ना काजी साहब के। माँ बाप काजी साहब के। रुके, मैं जाता हूँ, और दूर से उन्होंने पहचाना नहीं होगा, मैं बता कर आता हूँ अभी। काजी साहब, वो तो कह रहे हैं आपके माता पिता हैं। काजी साहब ने कहा, काजी साहब ने सब कुछ रोक दिया। बुलाओ उन्हें। जी कहिए, क्या काम है आपको। अरे मोती, तेरे माँ बाप है रे, याद नहीं है तुझे। याद नहीं है। रुको रुको, मौलवी साहब ने कहा था याद नहीं होंगे। काका गए और बोरी से हरी भरी घास लेकर आए, और काजी साहब के नाक के नीचे यूं घुमाया। ओ ले 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 ले, सब याद आ जाएगा, सब याद आ जाएगा तुझे मोती। काजी साहब बहुत गुस्सा हुए। उन्होंने कहा, निकालो इन्हें यहाँ से, पता नहीं कहाँ कहाँ से आ जाते हैं। इससे पहले काका काकी की सच्चाई कोई जान पाता, उन्हें निकाल फेंका कचहरी से बाहर। और बेचारे बहुत उदास हुए और रोते रोते निकल पड़े अपने गांव की तरफ। जैसे ही अपने गांव पहुंचे, उन्होंने सोचा मौलवी साहब के पास जाते हैं। पहला कदम रखते ही मौलवी साहब के घर जा पहुंचे, और मौलवी साहब को बताया, मौलवी साहब ये क्या हो गया, हमारा मोती तो हमें पहचान ही नहीं रहा है, आप कुछ तो करिए। अरे आप ही ने तो कहा था उसे बड़ा आदमी बना दो, बना दिया काजी अब। नहीं मौलवी साहब, हमारा मोती हमें वापस बना ला दीजिए, हमें अपना मोती वापस चाहिए। कभी कहते हो गधे का आदमी बना दो, कभी कहते हो आदमी का गधा बना दो, ये क्या कोई खेल चल रहा है। नहीं नहीं मौलवी साहब, आप जैसा कहेंगे हम वैसा करेंगे। आप प्लीज हमारा बच्चा वापस ला दीजिए। ठीक है, पैसे लगेंगे इस बार। 400 चांदी के सिक्के और 6 महीने का समय। 400 सिक्के। जी मौलवी साहब जी। जैसे तैसे काका काकी ने 400 रुपए 400 सिक्के जुटाए और ले पहुंचे 6 महीने बाद मौलवी साहब के घर पर। अब वहां जाते ही उनका इंतजार कर रहा था उछलता कूदता हुआ मोती, जो होजू 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 कर रहा था। काका काकी को देखकर वो बहुत खुश हुआ और अपने कान काकी की कमर से ऐसे रगड़ने लगा। और काका ने बोला, क्या रे मोती, पहचान नहीं रहा था तू हमें? चल घर, तुझे नानी याद दिलाता हूँ। बड़ा आदमी बन गया था ना, काजी बन गया था बनारस का, तुझे नानी याद दिलाता हूँ। और शायद नानी याद दिलाई भी। Oh my God, I couldn't stop laughing. This was fantastic. Brilliant performance. I really loved it. मेरी हिंदी इतनी अच्छी नहीं है जितनी आप दोनों की है. I realized कितनी प्यारी सुंदर भाषा लगती है when someone who resonates with the language and when they say something in that language. It really moved me a lot. Amazing performance. How do you both feel, bringing this out? And also, one more question that I have, how is it for both of you to bring humor in Hindi? Is it easy? Is it not easy? How does that happen?
So I remember me and Ria discussing that how can we bring it or live the story. So I think the discussion was around living the characters. And we just got into the characters and we felt it, we realized how the characters would actually speak. And this brought a lot of humor. We enjoyed doing the rehearsals, the practice, narration between us. So yeah.
Yeah. And it was not about, like performing the story or just finishing it properly, but it was also about enjoying it more. Like Ankit says, you have to enjoy the story. It's okay if it doesn't go well, but you have to enjoy it. So the first time Swati introduced me to the story, I was not performing, I was not planning on performing because a lot of things going on. But Swati was looking for a partner, and then I read the story. I listened to the narration, and I was like, I have to do this. It's such an amazing story. It is going to bring play to my character. I'm going to do a lot of fun things. So I jumped in immediately, and from then only, we have been enjoying it. We have been making facial expressions, running, and just laughing it out. So yeah. Thank you so much, Ankit. Thank you, Swati, for being here and just putting in so much confidence in me. And it was a beautiful, beautiful journey of 3 months, Ankit. I'm so, so grateful of, having joined here, learning from you and everyone here. It was not about storytelling per se, but was more about learning about myself more, managing myself more. And I think this is definitely going to help in my facilitation. I've become a lot more calmer in 3 months just by looking at you, just by the way you approach things, the way you're so calm in your sessions. There was so much to learn, so much to experience. I'm really happy in this. I'm going to cherish this forever. Yeah. Thank you so much.
I
And
think, yeah, the feelings are absolutely mutual. All of us feel that for the course for Ankit. Now we'll go on to the next story. बहुत प्यारी story again हिंदी में जिसका नाम ही इतना सुंदर है that you met, it's called Gharanda and it's performed by Rekha ji. Over to you.
नीना के घर में खुशी का माहौल था। नीना के मासी की शादी होने वाली थी। नीना के मम्मी पापा भाई सभी शादी में शामिल होने के लिए दिल्ली जा रहे थे, लेकिन नीना उदास थी। उसके माँ उसे नए कपड़े दिलाने के लिए बाजार ले गई। बेटा, तुम्हें कौन सा रंग पसंद है? माँ, मुझे नए कपड़े नहीं चाहिए। बेटा, सलवार कमीज? नीना सिर हिलाकर मना करती है। बेटा, पिछले हफ्ते सफेद रंग के सुंदर से जूते देखे थे, उसका क्या? वे भी नहीं चाहिए माँ, धन्यवाद। नीना की माँ उदास हो गई, लेकिन उन्होंने कुछ नहीं कहा। वे दोनों वापस घर आए। सब मिलकर खाना खाए। खाने के बाद माँ जाकर नीना के पास बैठ गई। बेटा, तुम हर चीज के लिए मना क्यों कर रही हो? माँ, मुझे शादी में नहीं जाना है। लेकिन क्यों? नीना के आंखों में आंसू आने लगे। उसके माँ उसे बाहों में भरते हुए, बेटा तुम्हें कौन सी बात की चिंता हो रही है? उसके आंखों में और आंसू आने लगे। माँ, मेरे कमरे में किताबों के अलमारी के ऊपर एक चिड़िया का घोंसला है। उसमें दो छोटे छोटे बच्चे हैं। ये तो मैं जानती हूँ, उनके तो पंख अभी अभी निकल रहे हैं, तो उनको पूरा दिन भूख लगती रहती है, इसलिए चिर पिर करते रहते हैं। अगर माँ हम शादी में चले गए तो पूरा घर बंद हो जाएगा और मम्मी पापा चिड़िया चिड़िया खाना कैसे खिलाएंगे? अच्छा, तो तुम इसलिए शादी में नहीं जाना चाहती हो? इसमें परेशान होने की क्या बात है? हम खिड़की खुली रखेंगे। सच में माँ, हम ऐसा कर सकते हैं। हाँ, तुम्हारे कमरे के सारे सामान बाहर रखेंगे, घर के दरवाजे को बाहर से बंद करेंगे ताकि मम्मी पापा चिड़िया आराम से आते जाते रहेंगे। हाँ माँ, सच में। हाँ, लेकिन मीना, जब तुम शादी में आनंद लेती रहोगी, छोटे छोटे बच्चे बड़े होंगे। ये तो बहुत अच्छी बात है माँ। नीना जब शादी से वापस आकर अपने कमरे में देखती है, दो चिड़िया इधर से उधर, उधर से इधर उड़ते रहते हैं। इसे देखकर नीना बहुत खुश हो जाती है। थैंक यू।
बहुत सुंदर रेखा जी।
थैंक यू।
थैंक यू। आपको एक कहानी मिली कैसे? कैसे?
अंकित जी ने बहुत मोटिवेट किया, आप कौन सा भी कहानी चुन लो और उसे जस्ट आप समझो। अब बोला एक्चुअली मेरे मातृभाषा अलग है, इन्होंने बहुत गाइडेंस किया, इनकरेज किया। फिर मैंने एक किताब से एक कहानी उठा ली, बस तब से ये बोलने की प्रैक्टिस कर रही हूँ।
आपकी
और
मेहनत खूब
अंकित जी ने
दिख रही।
बहुत इनकरेज किया, कोई नहीं।
थैंक यू
बहुत
रेखा जी इस प्यारी छोटी सी प्यार भरी कहानी के लिए जिसे आपने इतने प्यार से सुनाया। जैसा कि रेखा जी अभी बता रही थी कि हिंदी उनकी मातृभाषा नहीं है, शायद उनकी दूसरी तीसरी चौथी भाषा होगी। ऐसी भाषा को सीखना, उसमें कहानी को चुनना, उसमें कहानी को सुनाना, इसमें बहुत हिम्मत लगती है, बहुत काम लगता है। तो आपने बहुत ही प्यारा काम किया रेखा जी। और रेखा जी हमें अपने काम के बारे में भी बताइए, आप
थैंक यू
कहाँ काम
सर।
करते हैं?
सर हम यहाँ पे एक श्रीयम गुरु जी हमारे आध्यात्मिक गुरु हैं। तो मेरठ के पास गढ़ मुक्तेश्वर है, वहाँ पे एक सत्संग विद्यालय, सत्य सत्संग विद्यालय करके। तो मैं अभी 2 महीने हुआ जो लाइब्रेरियन करके काम कर रही हूँ वहाँ पे। तो बहुत अच्छा लगता है, बहुत उनको बच्चों को कहानी सुनाने के लिए मैंने ये कोर्स किया है, तो बहुत अच्छा लगता है। और आपने
उम्मीद
बहुत
करते हैं कि
अच्छा इनकरेज किया है मुझे। और आप कहानी की गंगा बहा रहे, हमको उसमें डुबकी लगाने दिया। तो
बहुत
ये
बहुत
बहुत बड़ी
शुक्रिया
बात
रेखा जी। मुझे याद है कि जब हम शुरुआती दौर में बात करते थे तो रेखा जी अपना इंट्रोडक्शन यहीं से शुरू करती थी कि मैं रेखा और मैं गंगा के किनारे रहती हूँ। और ये बात हम सबको बहुत अच्छे से याद है और बहुत प्यारी लगती थी। बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया
है। और
रेखा
सर
जी।
और एक बात, ज्योत से ज्योत जलाते चलो, कहानी की गंगा बहाते चलो। दिल से धन्यवाद, थैंक यू सर।
थैंक यू सो मच रेखा जी। और रेखा जी अकेली नहीं है जो इस
थैंक यू।
स्कूल में है, उनकी दो साथी सुजाता जी, डॉली जी भी हैं, जो अब अगली कहानी लेकर हम सबके बीच आ रहे हैं। ये कहानी उस वक्त की है जब बच्चे जिनका ख्याल नहीं रखा जाता था वो पेड़ बन जाते थे। और ये पेड़ जंगल में चुपचाप नहीं रहते थे, ये आगे बढ़ के कभी कभी आसमान छू आते थे, तो कभी कभी आपस में बात किया करते थे। ऐसा ही वक्त, ऐसे ही लोग और ऐसे ही राजा रानियों की कहानी लेकर हमारे बीच आ रही है सुजाता और डॉली। तो सुजाता, डॉली, जब भी आप तैयार हो हम इस कहानी को शुरू कर सकते
यह कहानी है एक राजा की जिसकी
6 रानियां थी, लेकिन राजा के लेकिन राजा को राजा की कोई संतान नहीं थी। इसी कारण राजा परेशान हो इधर उधर घूमा करता था। एक दिन राजा ने नदी के किनारे एक लड़की को देखा, जिससे राजा शादी कर लेता है और महल में ले आता है। राज एक्सक्यूज मी सर, मुझे ना पीछे से शोर आ रहा है, प्लीज मैं अभी मेरे को डिस्टर्ब हो रहा है आवाज सुन के, बस
अच्छा,
1 मिनट। मैं
जी जरूर जरूर, आप थोड़ी देर पे रुक सकते हैं।
बस 1
बल्कि क्या
मिनट।
हम एक काम कर सकते हैं डॉली जी, थोड़ी देर में इस कहानी को वापस लेके आए। क्यों ना हम थोड़ी देर के लिए यहाँ पे रुक जाए, अगली कहानी सुनते हैं और फिर थोड़ी देर में इस कहानी पर हम लौट के आते हैं। चलेगा? ठीक है। तो अब हम इस सिलसिले को आगे बढ़ाते हैं और अपनी अगली कहानी की तरफ ले चलते हैं। तन्वी, आप बता सकते हैं, तन्वी दीप्ति, अगली कहानी कौन सी है?
So the next story is about the bird in the golden cage, and it's presented by Samriti.
Hi, hello. Yes. Long, long ago, on the ancient land of Persia, there lived a merchant, a very kind hearted and a wealthy man. His caravans used to travel across rivers, islands, countries, and all over the world. He had everything one could ever dream of. One day, a friend of his came from India and brought him a magnificent present. Can you guess what it is? It was a very beautiful golden cage, and inside it sat a tiny parrot. The moment the merchant saw the parrot, he fell in love with the parrot. They instantly became friends. And one day, the merchant decided that he has to travel India for some of his works. He came to his wife and daughter and asked, "What do you want from India?" They said, "They want sari and lots of toys." Then he looked at the parrot. "What do you want, my friend?" The parrot said, "I want you to meet my friends in India and tell them that I am living a very comfortable and healthy life." The merchant said, "Sure, I will." And the moment the merchant reached India and completed all his work, he went to a place where he found similar looking parrots. He started announcing them that "Your friend has told me to pass a message." While he was saying this, a parrot flew and sat on his shoulder. He continued, "Your friend is living a very comfortable life inside a cage, and I feed him with all the delicious foods." The parrot sitting on the shoulder suddenly trembled and fell on the ground. The merchant was horrified. Did I kill the parrot? He was so scared and he couldn't help, so he ran away from the place. He reached Persia and he met his friend. The parrot asked, "Did you get a chance to deliver my message?" The merchant was very sad and he said, "Yes, I did, but one of your friend, when he heard the message, he fell and I think he died." The moment the merchant was saying this to the parrot inside the cage shivered and he also fell and fainted. Now the merchant was very scared and sad that did he lose his friend who was very close to his heart? But slowly he gathered some courage and started preparing for his funeral. He wanted to bury the parrot in his garden, so he took out the parrot from the golden cage, and as soon as he took out, the parrot spreads his wings and started flying high in the sky. The merchant looked at the parrot and he was shocked and happy at the same time to see his friend alive. He asked the parrot, "My friend, how are you alive?" The parrot said, "My friend was sending me a message that however beautiful a life is inside the cage, it is not as beautiful and free than the freedom to fly high in the sky. And he was telling me that how you can escape the cage." The merchant understood the emotion and he smiled. Thank you.
Very, very beautiful story. How did you come up with this story?
I actually, Ankit told me to find something that is very close to your heart that you relate with a lot. So I relate with animals' emotion and the emotion of being free a lot. So when I was going through a lot of stories and I came across this, so I was like, this is the one I would like to narrate for my graduation performance.
This is fantastic. How do you feel now that you've done the graduation performance?
Because my performance was next and it came up suddenly, so I was a bit, my heartbeat was a little fast, but I think I remembered all the things that all the mentors told me, like Hima, Sarvika, Sharmila, and Ankit, all of them, whatever they told me when I was saying this, that thing was coming in between, like take a pause, don't describe, and everything. So yeah. I now feel a bit relaxed. I'm actually now my heartbeat is now slowing down.
Samriddhi, tell us about your work. We know that you are into yoga.
Yeah, I am a yoga instructor and I have been practicing yoga since childhood. But I started teaching 5 years ago, and I have one of my friend here also. And I would like to tell a small story how I joined this. So I met her in Jagriti Yatra, and through her I came to know Hima, and she was my yoga student. And through Hima, I came to know about this teacher telling tales. So
It's very interesting. Do you want to tell us the name of the person you met in Jagruti Yatra?
Yeah, Namrata.
Oh, Namrata from Rajkot, is it?
Yeah.
Wow, that is a very small world.
So I do feel like, okay, every person I meet has something to add to my life. So I
Yeah.
never know like what I'm going to explore more by being a part of this community. So yeah, I'm very excited for that.
Wow. Thank you so much. I think I mean, it looks like serendipity, but it's also the human effort of connecting with others humans, isn't it? Like these days, of course, we call it networking, but that is such a LinkedIn word. I think what we really mean is just talking to more people, not knowing who they are and figuring that out as we talk and what do they love and what do they have. And I think most of the people who have ended up here have heard from someone who cared about something and told about something. So let's go back to this good old way of meeting strangers and sharing about our worlds with them. So thank you so much,
Thank
Samriti.
you.
And once again, I can see that the people are their bodies are getting a bit tired. So let's take a break for 3 minutes once again. And on the other side of the break, there are many, many stories waiting for you. A lot of them are in English. So let's see you on the other side of the break in 3 minutes. You can hear my voice. We can slowly start to come back to our places and back to our screens. And I've heard from Dolly ji that the noise around her is more subtle. So perhaps she can be back with us telling the story. सुजाता जी, डॉली जी, मैं आपका स्वागत करूंगा. हम आपकी कहानी से ही शुरू करेंगे और आपकी कहानी सुनने के बाद हम इससे आगे वाली इंग्लिश कहानियों की तरफ चलेंगे. तो स्वागत करते हैं हम डॉली जी का, सुजाता जी का, जो हमें कहानी सुनाने जा रही हैं चंपा का पौधा. डॉली जी, आप अभी म्यूट पर हैं, आपको अनम्यूट करना होगा और फिर से
सॉरी
शुरू
सर।
करेंगे.
यह कहानी है एक राजा की जिसकी 6 रानियां होती हैं, लेकिन किसी भी रानी को कोई संतान नहीं होती, जिस कारण राजा परेशान होकर अक्सर वन में इधर उधर घूमा करता था। एक दिन राजा ने नदी के किनारे एक लड़की को देखा, जिससे राजा शादी कर लेता है और छोटी रानी बना महल में ले आता है। पर यही बात बड़ी रानियों को बड़ी रानियों के मन में ईर्ष्या की आग पैदा कर देती है और समय धीरे धीरे बीतने लगता है। फिर एक दिन छोटी रानी बच्चों को जन्म देती है, लेकिन दूसरी तरफ बड़ी रानी की ईर्ष्या अब षड्यंत्र का रूप ले चुकी थी। बड़ी रानी दासी को आदेश करती है, जाओ इन बच्चों को ले जाकर वन में मार डालो। दासी बच्चों को महल से उठा जंगल में ले आती है मारने के लिए, पर जैसे ही वो उन मासूम से बच्चों को देखती है, उसे उन पर दया आ जाती है और वो उन्हें मारती तो नहीं, पर वहीं छोड़ आती है। दूसरी तरफ रानी छोटी रानी के पास कुछ ईंट और पत्थर रख देती है और राजा को विश्वास दिलाती है कि छोटी रानी ने उनके साथ छल किया है। उसने किसी बच्चे को नहीं, बल्कि ईंट पत्थर को जन्म दिया है। राजा भी बड़ी रानी की बातों पर विश्वास कर लेता है और छोटी रानी को आदेश देता है, आज से रानी महल में एक रानी की तरह नहीं, बल्कि एक दासी की तरह रहेगी। बेचारी छोटी रानी आंखों में आंसू लिए, परेशान, लाचार और मजबूर होकर एक महल में रानी नहीं, बल्कि दासी की तरह अपना जीवन बिताने लगती है। थैंक यू।
ये कहानी यहाँ पे खत्म नहीं होती। ये बच्चे जो अब जंगल जा चुके हैं, कभी ना कभी बड़े होंगे, और ये छोटी रानी जो अपने बच्चों को खो चुकी है, फिर से उनसे कभी ना कभी मिलेगी। पर आगे की कहानी सुनने के लिए आपको सुजाता जी का इंतजार करना होगा। जब भी उनका नेटवर्क वापस आएगा, वो हमारे बीच वापस आएंगे, पर तब तक के लिए इस कहानी को हम यहीं पर रोक देते हैं और इस शाम को हम आगे बढ़ाते हैं। अब हमारे बीच दो नए साथी इस शो को होस्ट करने के लिए आ रहे हैं। हमारे बीच आ रही हैं रुशाली और मुक्ति। रुशाली और मुक्ति, आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है। पर इससे पहले मैं डॉली जी को एक मौका देना चाहूंगा, अगर वो कुछ भी कहना चाहें, ऑडियंस से कुछ भी बोलना चाहें। उनके साथ ही जो सुजाता थी, उनका इंटरनेट आज थोड़ा सा उनके साथ नहीं है, थोड़ा आ जा रहा है, इसलिए वो भी थोड़ा आ जा रही है। पर अभी हम पहले डॉली जी को सुन लेते हैं। डॉली जी, कैसा महसूस हो रहा है कहानी सुनाने के बाद?
अभी मुझे बहुत अच्छा फील हो रहा है, क्योंकि मैं पहले नर्वस थी, और जैसा कि पहले कहानी बहुत बड़ी थी। और सबसे पहले थैंक यू सर आपको कि आपने इस कहानी को मुझे छोटा करके हमें मतलब सब कुछ समझाया, और सब आपने इतने अच्छे से मोटिव करा कि अ, मेरे को बहुत अच्छा लगा। मैं पहले मुझे बहुत ज्यादा बोल पाने में ऐसा लग रहा था, पता नहीं मैं कर भी पाऊंगी या नहीं। लेकिन अंकित सर आपने इतने अच्छे से सुझाव दिए और समझाया, तो आपको और जिसने भी अभी हमारे साथ रिहर्सल सब हमारे साथ थे, उनको भी दिल से थैंक यू, बहुत बहुत बड़ा थैंक यू। सब बहुत अ, जब भी सेशन लेते थे सब बहुत अच्छे थे क्लास में, और बहुत अच्छा लगता था, कुछ नया सीखने को मिला। और सबके वो थैंक यू सर।
शुक्रिया डॉली जी। और क्योंकि आप शिक्षक हैं और एक बहुत ही प्यारे स्कूल में पढ़ाते हैं, हमें उम्मीद है कि आप अपने बच्चों को यही उपहार लगभग लगभग रोज देंगे। जब भी आपको मौका मिलेगा, आप अपने बच्चों को जितना हो सके, जितनी सारी हो सके कहानियां सुनाएंगे। इसी के साथ
यस
हम आपका शुक्रिया अदा करते हैं डॉली जी, और इंतजार करते हैं इस कहानी के दूसरे हिस्से की, जो कभी भी आपके बीच आ सकता है। अभी तक हमने सुना ये कि एक राजा था और उसकी रानियां थी, लेकिन एक संतान नहीं थी। और आखिरकार जब वो संतान हुई, तो बड़ी रानियों ने साजिश करके उसको जंगल में भिजवा दिया, जहां वो गिर के जमीन के अंदर पेड़ बन गए। और बाकी सबको लगा कि अब ये संतानें मर चुकी हैं। लेकिन अक्सर कहानियां ऐसे खत्म नहीं होती। कहानी के दूसरे हिस्से को हम किसी और वक्त सुनेंगे। अभी हम स्वागत करते हैं मुक्ति का और रुशाली का, जो इस कहानी के हमारे आज शाम के अगले सेगमेंट की ओर हमें लेके चलेंगे। रुशाली, मुक्ति।
Thank you, Ankit. Hi, everyone. I am back, but now I'm not going to tell you a story, but I want to talk about fear. Sometimes fear can have their own story. And today's story is going to be the Spotlight Cure by Priyanka. I was sitting comfortably, enjoying everybody's performance. My heart rate was steady. I had a big smile on my face, and my body was calm. And then my name echoed over the microphone. In a second, all my parameters shifted. My heart rate doubled, my hands became sweaty, even my smile looked fake. Who knew hearing your own name could do that? Well, that's the magic of fear. The angel on my right shoulder kept telling me, "Go for it, you are prepared," while the devil on my left shoulder kept nudging me, "Are you crazy? You don't remember anything. You will forget. People will laugh at you." And then came more brilliant ideas. Just freeze, and the audience will think it's a technical glitch. Or just announce a family emergency and run. Well, that's fear. Fear has a wonderful imagination. It uses its creativity at the worst possible moment, doesn't it? And as I'm looking at all of you across the screen, I can just see bloody faces. Again, that's the magic of fear. Fear is not just an emotion, it's a lens. And the more we look through it, the more distorted our reality becomes. It convinces us it's easier to escape than take that one step forward. And while I'm sitting here negotiating between the angel and the devil of my own imagination, I'm reminded of a beautiful story narrated to me by my mentor. Long time ago, there was a young monk. He was asked to deliver his first talk before everyone in the monastery. The young monk got up, walked to the center of the stage, and as he was about to speak, his mind went blank. His hands became cold, his throat went dry, and all he wanted to do was run away. An elderly monk looked at him from a distance, and then he walked up to him and asked, "Son, why are you worried?" He whispered, "I'm worried that I may not sound wise." The elderly monk smiled and said, "Then stop trying to sound wise. Just say one simple, honest sentence." So the young monk took a deep breath, gathered all his courage, and said three little words: "I am nervous." There was pin drop silence in the room. And then everybody smiled. Not because he was nervous, but because he was honest. And somehow, after that one honest sentence, all the words came out easily for him. Well, this story makes perfect sense to me. And I too have realized you are not here to judge me. You are not waiting to see me mess up. In fact, you are rooting for me because each one of us have been there where we felt nervous, scared, terrified, even doubted our decision. So here I am, not because I'm fearless, but because I am not allowing fear to make that decision for me. And you know what? It's not that bad. It's kind of beautiful because once the fear settles, what remains is not a judgmental audience, but a room full of people sharing that moment together. So thank you. Thank you for your smiles. Thank you for listening to. And believe me, the cure for stage fright is not confidence. It is taking that one tiny step and discovering you are never alone. And remember, when fear rises, pause, take a deep breath. Thank you.
You, Priyanka ji, for bringing this story to us. I think it resonated with all of us present here and that one step that we are taking today.
Yes.
But right now, I would like to know how you are feeling. What is it like for you?
I am feeling more confident and actually proud of myself because the day Ankit announced, this was in the first class, that at the end of the course, we have to give a performance. That night, I could not sleep because I'm really scared of
performing in front of adults. I mean, I'm a teacher, and in front of kids, I can speak for hours. But when it comes to adults, I'm quiet. And in fact, Ankit will be proud of me when I tell him that tomorrow I've agreed to be a host in a meet. Thank you, Ankit. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I can't tell you. I mean, so grateful to you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Priyanka ji, for
Yeah.
taking this lead and bringing all of us this reminder, because almost all of us live with this fear. This fear is not fake, it's very real. What our body does to us, these butterflies that we feel, this shiver, this sweat, all of us feel that. All of us, no matter how much we have performed, no matter how much we have learned, how many years we have been doing this, all of us experience it. And this reminder that we can only be honest to ourselves and to our audience and make ourselves visible just the way we are. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
these reminders wrapped into this beautiful Zen tale that you brought for us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And now, as I can see among the audience, the second part of the story and the storyteller by now has grown up. So these children that were left alone in the forest seem to have grown a little bit. और सुजाता जी हमारे पास अब वापस आ गई हैं. तो अब तक की कहानी आपको याद होगी. वो राजा, वो उसकी रानियां, वो बच्चों जिनको जंगल में पिकवा दिया गया, और वो छोटी रानी जिसको अब दासी बना दिया गया, और वो बड़ी सारी रानियां जो उससे ईर्ष्या करती थी. अब सुनते हैं आगे क्या हुआ.
जैसे ही दासी उन बच्चों को जंगल में छोड़कर जाती है, उधर वन देवी उन छोटे छोटे बच्चों को अपनी गोद में उठा लेती है और उन्हें पौधों के रूप में परिवर्तित कर देती है. पौधे भी कोई साधारण नहीं, बोलने वाले पौधे, और जो कोई उनके मनमोह फूलों को छूने की कोशिश करता था वो लघु आकाश को छू जाते थे. जब ये बात राजा को पता चली तो राजा ने भी ये चमत्कार रहस्य जानने की कोशिश की और अपने सभी परिवार के साथ वो वहां चला जाता है. सभी गोल घेरे में बैठ जाते हैं. सबसे पहले बड़ी रानी फूल को तोड़ने की कोशिश करती है. तभी चंपा का पौधा, ठहरो, तुम हमारी आज्ञा के बिना हमारे पौधे से फूल नहीं ले सकती. बांस भैया, देखो जरा, हमारी बड़ी रानी सौतेली माँ हमारे फूल लेने आई हैं, क्या हम इन्हें फूल दे दें? बांस ने कहा, नहीं बहन, ये हमारे फूलों के योग्य नहीं है, क्योंकि इन्होंने ही तो हमारी माँ को सबसे ज्यादा प्रताड़ित किया है. ये हमारे फूलों के योग्य नहीं है. ये सुनकर रानी पीछे कदम हटा लेती है और वापस चली जाती. इस प्रकार 6 रानी बारी बारी से अपना प्रयास करती है, लेकिन वो सारी ही असफल हो जाती. राजा ने भी अपना प्रयास करके देखा कि शायद कुछ हो जाए, लेकिन राजा भी असफल रहा. अब इस बार रानी, जो छोटी रानी थी, उन बच्चों की माँ थी, वो अपने कदम धीरे 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 आगे आती. जैसे ही उसने चंपा के पौधे को स्पर्श किया, चंपा के पौधे आंसू निकल गए. बात ने चंपा को, चंपा बोली, भैया, आज हमारी माँ ने हमें पहली बार स्पर्श किया है, क्या करूं? मैं रोने से खुद को रोक ही नहीं पा रही हूँ. बहन तेरी बात की, माँ ने सारे फूल माँ के चरणों में न्योछावर कर. ये सब चंपा की ये सब महसूस करके को उन फूल की महकें उनके स्पर्श से आनंदित महसूस कर रही थी, मानो मैं अपने सारे दुख भूल गई. ये सब राजा भी देख रहा था. राजा आके तुरंत पूछते कि कई पौधे इतने ही वहां पे वन देवी आ जाए और वो की देती है. बातें सुनकर बहुत दुख होता है और उसने छह रानियों को कारावास की सजा सुनाई और उन छह को और सातवीं बेटे को और रानी को गले लगाकर उनसे माफी मांगी। इस प्रकार
इस कहानी में इतने भावुक क्षण आए कि शायद इंटरनेट से भी रहा नहीं गया, और वो भी उन भावनाओं के साथ बह गया। पर मैं आपका परिचय इस कहानी से फिर भी कराता हूँ। आपने कहानी का वो हिस्सा तो सुन लिया कि जब जो बच्चे जो जंगल में छोड़ दिए गए थे, वो धीरे धीरे चंपा और बांस के पेड़ बन गए। और जब राजा अपनी सारी रानियों के साथ इस खबर को सुन के जंगल पहुंचता है कि जंगल के पौधे आपस में बात कर रहे हैं, सब एक एक करके फूल को छूने की कोशिश करते हैं। बड़ी रानियां जाती हैं, लेकिन फूल उनके सामने, उनके हाथों में आने से मना कर देते हैं। और जैसे ही वो फूल के पास जाएं, ये फूल आकाश को छू लेते हैं। ऐसे ऐसे एक एक करके छह की छह रानियां उन फूलों को छूने की कोशिश करती हैं, और उन्हें छू नहीं पाती। राजा अपने सारे बल के साथ आता है, सारी सेना लेकर आता है, लेकिन फूल उसके हाथ नहीं आता। फूल उसके आगे बढ़ते ही आसमान को छू जाते हैं। आखिरकार छोटी रानी, जो इन बच्चों की मां थी, जो इतने सालों से एक दासी बन के जी रही थी, फूल को छूने आती है। जैसे ही वो फूल को हाथ लगाते हैं, फूल जैसे पिघल जाते हैं, बांस उनके चरणों में गिर जाते हैं। फूल का पेड़ अपने सारे फूलों को उसकी गोद में, उसके चरणों में नमन कर देता है। और माँ अपने बच्चों से एक बार फिर मिल जाती है। बाकी सारी रानियां, राजा, सेना, सब इस चमत्कार को देखते हैं। फिर ये फूल, ये बांस वापस एक राजकुमार और राजकुमारी बन जाते हैं। और जैसा अक्सर कहानी में होता है, इसके की आगे की कहानी बड़ी खुशहाल बीतती है, जहां राजा अपनी सातों रानियों के साथ खुशी खुशी अपना जीवन व्यतीत करता है। अगर सुजाता जी आप वापस आ गए हैं तो हम आपकी आवाज जरूर सुनना चाहेंगे। हमने लगभग लगभग सारी कहानी आपकी आवाज में ही सुनी, और जो थोड़ा बहुत इंटरनेट ने रुकावट भी डाली, अब हम उसको भी सुन चुके हैं, समझ चुके हैं। जब भी आप वापस आए, हम आपकी आवाज सुनना चाहेंगे, हम जानना चाहेंगे कि आपको कैसा महसूस हो रहा है। और इस बीच हम शाम को आगे बढ़ाएंगे। रुशाली मुफ्ती बताएंगे कि अगला फॉर्मर कौन है।
थैंक यू अंकित।
मुझे लगता है सुजाता जी आ गई है। सुजाता जी, हमने लगभग लगभग पूरी कहानी आपके मुंह से सुनी। अभी मैंने उस कहानी को दोहरा भी दिया है, तो लोगों ने इसे दोबारा भी सुन लिया है। आपको कैसा महसूस हो रहा है?
मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा सर। और सबसे अच्छी बात कि यहाँ के जो ग्रुप में हम जब जुड़े हैं तो सबने फैमिली जैसा मतलब बिहेव किया और एक दूसरे को सपोर्टेड हैं। ये भी बहुत अच्छा लगा और सब आपसे ही गाइडेड हैं।
थैंक यू सुजाता जी। हम माफी भी चाहेंगे इंटरनेट की तरफ से, क्योंकि ये मुश्किलें कभी भी किसी के भी साथ आ जाती है, और आपको कहानी के शुरुआत में, कहानी के बीच में बहुत सारी इंटरनेट की मुश्किलों का सामना करना पड़ा। और ऐसा कभी हमारे साथ हुआ है तो हम जानते हैं कि ये कितना मुश्किल होता है, जब आपकी कहानी से ठीक पहले आपका इंटरनेट चला जाए, कहानी के बीच में इंटरनेट चला जाए। तो इस पूरी मुश्किल के बावजूद आप मुस्कुराते हुए यहाँ पर बैठी हैं। आपने अपनी कहानी पूरे दिल खोल के हमें सुनाई। ये कहानी सुजाता जी की खोज के लाई थी, और जब हमने पहली बार इस कहानी को सुना तो हमें इस कहानी के ऊपर बहुत सारा प्यार आया, क्योंकि एक ऐसे वक्त की कहानी है जहां पर पेड़, राजा, रानी, इंसान सब आपस में घुल मिल के रहते थे और एक दूसरे की बातें सुनते थे। तो ये बहुत ही खूबसूरत कहानी है, और हमें यकीन है कि आप बहुत ही जल्द, इसी हफ्ते में शायद, स्कूल के बच्चों को भी ये कहानी लंबे तरीके से, जितनी लंबी आपने तैयार की थी, उतनी लंबी कहानी अपने स्कूल के बच्चों को आप सुना सकेंगे।
स्कूल के बच्चों को सर मैंने सुना भी दी है दो बार मतलब अपनी क्लास के बच्चों को। तो उनसे फिर फीडबैक लिया कि कैसा क्या लगा आपको। सबने मतलब केजी क्लास के बच्चों ने बता दिया कि ऐसे ऐसे हुआ इसमें। स्टोरी में तो अच्छा लगा सुन के।
चलिए, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया डॉली जी, सुजाता जी, इस कहानी को लाने के लिए, इसे तैयार करने के लिए, इसे सुनाने के लिए। और अब हम आगे बढ़ते हैं। हमें एक खबर आ रही है कि एक शैतान बच्चा है वृंदावन में जो बहुत शरारत करता है। और रुशाली, जरा हमें मिलवाइए इनसे।
So, our next story would be presented by Sayoni. And as Ankit told us, that this is a story about a tender, mischievous boy from Vrindavan who wins over countless hearts with his eternal pastimes. And I think you all know whom I'm talking about, but now it's the time for Sayoni to take us to that world.
Let me take you to the enchanted, the magical, the idyllic forest and village of Vrindavan, where we find Sri Krishna living out his glorious pastimes under the shelter of his father, Nanda Maharaj, his mother, Yashoda, and all the Vrindavan Vasis and Brajvasis. We have heard of him defeating so many Rakshasas and demons from infancy. But Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda and all the Brajvasis did not see him as someone almighty or powerful. They saw him as their little child, their beloved Sri Krishna, who is mischievous, who is naughty, who loves butter. One day, a fruit seller from far away came to Vrindavan in hopes of selling her fruits. She had heard that Nanda Maharaj is very generous and was hoping that he would buy all her fruits from her. Fresh fruits, mangoes, peaches, plums, all ripe and sweet. Who would like to buy them? She calls as she approaches Nanda Maharaj's home. Listening to her calling, Nanda Maharaj comes out of his house, followed by Mother Yashoda, and behind her the tiny toddler Sri Krishna. Let us call this fruit seller Madhvi. Madhvi puts down her heavy basket of fruits on the ground. It was a time of barter system, where in exchange of something, an equal value of another item would be given. So Nanda Maharaj asks Madhvi, would a basket of grains of rice suffice for all your fruits? Madhvi says, of course, Nanda Maharaj, you are so compassionate. Meanwhile, Krishna cannot control his curiosity. He is slowly approaching Madhvi, looking with admiration at all these baskets of fruits, mangoes and plums and peaches. He just can't help himself and he runs towards Madhvi and says, Krishna also wants fruits. I will get grain. 1 minute. And he runs towards the basket of grains and picks up as many grains of rice in his tiny palms as he can and runs towards Madhvi. But he doesn't realize that as he is running, those grains of rice are slowly falling in between his fingers. Then he comes to Madhvi and he says, take my grains, give me fruits. But he sees his palms and he says, there are hardly any grains of rice left. He becomes so sad. He will almost cry. Looking at this beautiful child's face, Madhvi says, oh, my dear Krishna, don't be sad. These few grains are enough for my entire basket of fruits. Take them all. Take the entire basket of fruits. And she gives all her fruits to Krishna and takes the empty basket back. As she is returning with an empty basket on her head, she realizes that maybe she did not get the same value of her fruits. But she doesn't have any regrets or any kind of negative emotions because she realizes that she has met the most beautiful child in the universe. She just can't stop thinking about his lotus face and his tiny palms and his sweet voice. As she is walking, admiring and thinking about Sri Krishna, she realizes that her empty basket has become a little heavy. Maybe something has fallen from up on the basket, so she keeps walking. She takes 2 steps, the basket becomes heavier. She takes 4 steps, it becomes more heavy and more heavy and more heavy until she cannot carry the basket any longer. She is confused. Why is my empty basket suddenly so heavy and she has to put it down? As soon as she drops the basket on the ground, she is blinded. She is shocked to see that the once empty basket is full of jewels, of gold and precious stones. She doesn't understand how this happened. But Krishna knows that anything offered to him, to his lotus feet, even if it is a flower petal or a leaf or even a drop of water or a grain of rice, if it is offered with selfless love and devotion, Krishna will give 1,000,000 times in return. Thank you.
Wow, Sayoni, you brought us back to faith. Thank you so much for sharing your story. We really loved it. And I would like to know, how are you feeling now?
I'm feeling really happy that I was able to come to this performance and give it and listen to everyone else. This 3 months journey under the guidance of Ankit sir and all my peers has been nothing but wonderful. I I just have takeaways, positive takeaways and fond memories from this course, and I would really like to thank my mother. She because of her I was encouraged to take this course. So thank you, Ankit sir. Thank you all my peers, and thank you, Ma, for just pushing me to take up this workshop.
I remember the time, Sayoni, when you described that you love Krishna. That is why when we ask the question, where are we drawing our stories from? They're coming from a childhood longing, they're coming from love, and you could go back to Krishna. Tell us a little more about why did you choose this story, this particular story?
Two reasons. One is I have always been fascinated to listen to Krishna's pastimes and what all his leelas from childhood. So I don't know why, but whenever even though I've heard these stories more than once, whenever I hear them, it's like I'm hearing it for the first time. Whether I'm hearing from a Krishna Katha or I'm watching a TV serial or like a cartoon. So I just become so fascinated, and I feel like that experience when you're watching your favorite movie or you're listening to your favorite story for the first time. Second reason is this story is very close to my heart because in childhood, I was part of a skit, a drama where I played the old fruit seller, even though I was just 6 or 7 years old. But I put like a wig and I was like kind of hunching over and trying to play the part of the fruit seller. So it's a very old story which I have been holding on to, and thank you everyone for listening to it and giving me this platform to share this story. Thank you.
Thank you, Sayoni. This is very interesting how this story has been with you since you were 6 and you have seen both ends of the story. Perhaps when you were a kid, you were also like Krishna and you were the fruit seller in the drama, and now you have become the narrator of this story. This reminds me that the place where I was studying storytelling, my teacher would often say, even though it seems that you are looking after stories, you are finding the stories. It is the stories that are finding you, and they find us in different times on life. So thank you so much, Sayoni, for being here, for working on the story, and a little extra information about me and Sayoni. I once taught a course in theater where Sayoni has been my student. And so that is where we have first met. And it was a course in theater, media, and that's how long back we go. And it's so good to see you here exploring storytelling, and just so proud of you. Thank you, Sayoni.
Thank you so much, Ankit. So thank you.
Thank you. Hearts are so full, but make some space because now more stories are coming.
So there is something very beautiful about kindness. kindness spreads like a sparkle. And the next story that we are going to hear from Mansi Shah and Kavya will tell you about kindness.
I'll be starting. So once upon a time, there lived a king, and the king had 3 sons. The 2 elder brothers were strong and bold, while the younger son was a simpleton. One fine day, these 2 brothers set out for a wild adventure into the forest and never came back. The king has been worried. It's been more than 30 days now. I wonder where my sons are. I wonder if they are even alive or not. The youngest son cannot see his father being worried anymore and sets out with his horse into the forest to go find his brothers. He eventually goes through the forest under the canopies and comes across 2 people walking towards him. There, stop. I think that's my brothers. The brothers swiftly walk towards the younger brother and laugh out loud. Ha 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 ha. Have you come here all by your own, all alone with just a horse, nothing else? Yes, brother. Him and his simple ways. The younger brother has always been mocked up for his simple ways. The 3 brothers now decide to walk through the forest towards the castle. They eventually come across a small anthill. The eldest brother looks at the anthill and says, "Look at these creatures building a house on our way. We need to show them how strong we are." Yes, brother, let's destroy that anthill and see those small creatures creeping out. The youngest son sees all of this and says, "I will not allow you to touch their house. Let's go the other way. Come with me." They eventually walk towards the forest and then come across a beautiful pond with small ducks. The eldest brother sees those small ducks and said, "Look at those ducks. They look yummy. I've been really hungry for more than 30 days. It's been long since I've had a good meal. Brother, why don't we catch them by their neck and have them for tonight's dinner? I could have 2 for myself." The youngest son sees all of this and angrily says, "I will not let you catch those ducks. Come with me. We'll go find a place to rest and have good dinner elsewhere." So this does not stop here. They go through the forest and come across a big tree. There's a beautiful big hive with lots of honey dripping by. Guess what these eldest sons said? "What do you think about burning the tree from the bottom and taking the honey out and gifting it to our father when we meet him? Our father would be happy." The younger son sees all of this and says concerningly, "No, brother, please don't do that. Father will not be happy knowing you did that. Come with me. We'll go. It's getting dark. We need to find a place to stay." The 3 brothers now go through the forest and eventually come across a big castle. It's not a normal castle, it's a cursed castle where everything has been converted to stones. The people, the trees, the stable, the horses. The youngest son sees an old man walking towards. The old man said, "Son, why are you here? Who are you looking for? How can I help you?" The youngest son said, "Sir, it's been more than 30 days since my brothers have been going around. We have not slept well. Can we please stay here tonight? We've also not eaten well." "Son, please come inside. I will take you. We'll have some nice dinner and you can rest here." The 3 brothers happily accept the invite and go into the castle to rest.
Next morning, this little grey old man takes the 3 brothers to a secret chamber. And in that chamber, was a stone wall on which were written the 3 challenges. The first challenge was to pick up the precious pearls. The second one was to fetch the golden key from the deep waters of the lake. And the third one was to, to identify who is the king's youngest daughter from among the 3 sleeping beauties who had consumed sugar, syrup, and the youngest one, spoonful of honey. So the eldest and the middle prince, both of them, who thought themselves to be bold and clever, they both attempt this task, but they are not successful, and hence they get turned into a hard stone. Now it was time for the youngest brother. And what happens is he tries to pick up these pearls slowly and steadily, but he gets so tired that he sits on a stone. And feeling so much disheartened and hopeless, he starts to cry. And suddenly, an ant comes by marching and stands in front of him. Hey, young prince, I shall help you. And she calls her entire ant family, and they together build a heap of pearls. And this first challenge is complete. Now it was time for the second challenge. So this young prince quickly gets onto his horse and he rides towards the lake. Upon reaching the lake, all the ducks swam up to him and quack, 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 quack. We shall all help you, they say. They offer him help. And so what happens is they dive deep inside the pond and they pick that golden key and hand it over to the young prince. And the young prince is so much overjoyed and grateful that he thanks them and goes back to the castle. He meets the grey old man there and gives him the key. Here are the keys. All right, follow me. And this grey old man goes towards the door, puts the key in the keyhole, and opens it. It is time for your third most difficult challenge, he says, and he leaves. Now, while this young prince is wondering inside what to do and how to complete this task, he sees a small queen bee buzzing from the window slit and sits on his hand. Hey, young prince, I will help you. And she quickly goes to each of these sleeping beauties inside and she tastes the sweet foods on their lips. And she keeps sitting on the one which had spoonful of honey. And so the prince smiles. He gets to know who was the king's youngest daughter. And so all these 3 challenges are now complete. And the Stone Brothers come back to life. And the enchantment on this whole castle is released. Now this young prince and the king's youngest daughter both get married. And as it happens in every fairy tale, they live happily ever after. Thank you.
And thus they lived happily ever after. Thank you, Mansi and Kavya, for this wonderful story. It took us on an emotional roller coaster, I would say, and so beautifully presented by both of you. But now I would like you to tell us what's the process for you. Let's just first hear to Kavya and then Mansi.
I was just really nervous because my mom was also there. Like I usually tell her not to come, and this time I was like, it's okay, come. She's also a teacher. I feel like I loved listening to stories because she told me really good stories when I was growing up, and I started reading a lot of books when I was growing up. So I just wanted to explore how I can, use storytelling in my writing and teaching and everything. This like really has like I think I have so many things that I want to work on, and I'm so glad that I came across Ankit's session. I still remember the dot story which he told at first. I did not. It just popped up on my screen as like an ad, and I just joined Chumma. I was on a walk and I joined it, and I really loved how he told that small story, and I wanted to learn more from him. So I would just love to be in this space more, and it feels sad now that it's getting over. Like I always look forward to the Tuesdays. Yeah. And I had a good time learning from everyone else and Mansi as well. Yes.
Nancy, over to you, please.
Yeah. So I'm so happy that I did it. In between, when Ankit told that you have to choose a story and tell, I was like, मेरे को नहीं करना है ये चीज. But then, okay. So I agreed then. दिल को मनाया थोड़ा, and then I took up a very simple story, Bhambutia. So then when I had to present the bones with Ankit, he told me, don't choose a very easy story. You choose something that is challenging for you. And so then, yeah, I chose this. I read many Wonder Tales. From them, that I chose this one. So 3 I had chosen, but then me and Kavya decided that we'll go with this one. And so then, yeah, we did it. And this Wonder Tale is the most challenging as Ankit says. And so he told, you don't, I will do everything. You don't worry about it. It will happen. And so that it happened. So I'm very thankful to Ankit, and I'm very thankful to Kavya and all the mentors, Sharmila ji, Swati ji, Sarvika ji, everyone who helped us to, we come to this borderline and we crossed it. Yeah, thank you.
And you crossed it so gloriously with a wonder tale. This is perhaps the only wonder tale of the evening. And as many of you know, wonder tales are age-old stories. These are fairy tales. ये परी कथाएं हैं जहाँ पे कुछ भी कभी भी हो जाता है, जहाँ पर चींटी आपसे बात करने लगती है और आपकी मदद करती है, जहाँ पे डक्स आपके लिए एक चाबी खोज के लाते हैं. और इस कहानी को सुनाने वक्त आपको ये पूरी दुनिया क्रिएट करनी पड़ती है, और इसीलिए दिस इज मोर चैलेंजिंग एज अ जॉनर ऑफ स्टोरी. Thank you so much, Kavya, and thank you so much, Mansi, for taking this up as a challenge and getting across. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And loved the grey old men, and loved the challenges and all the animals that you brought in. Thank you so much. We don't want to live here, but we have to move on, and we have to go to the next story.
Yeah, Ankit, I second that. And I was actually feeling when Mansi said that, the whole course is culminating and we are going to miss our Tuesday. I really felt it. But we got to go to the next story. And the next story is about a man who searched for truth. And then, when you search for truth, how everything changes. So
I wonder, Mukti, if that's the next story. Isn't the next story about the door in the house? I think so.
I think Mukti is so excited to listen to the story that she skipped. But
So I've heard that there was once a house.
Yeah.
This house had a door, and this door is not just there. The door looks at the family, remembers the family, and tells stories about this family. And it's not just the door, it's also the walls of this house. So let me welcome Nakib and Purnima, who are bringing this story about Kadava, the door. And let me welcome Purnima and Nakib, and you can start whenever you're ready.
I was not always old. I am Kadavar, the door. My story is that of Karisalkadu, a land with fierce sunlight, cracked earth, thorny scrubs, and tall palmyra trees that stand still under the burning sky. I have stood here for years, for generations. I have witnessed abundance, births, laughter, weddings, arguments, and whispered prayers. But more than anything, I have watched people wait for rain, wait for crops, wait for sons who have gone to distant lands in search of work, wait for empty grain jars to fill, and wait for letters that arrived too late. Waiting has become another member of this family. But the children here understand hunger, hard work, scarcity. Yet they continue to delight in the simplest of things. Little Srinivasan called out excitedly, எல்லாரும் டிக்கெட் வாங்கிட்டீங்களா? எனக்கு டிக்கெட், நாங்க திருநெல்வேலி போறோம், replied his friends. 8-year-old Lakshmi just wiped me clean with a torn piece of cloth. Instantly, I became their bus. They climbed onto me, swung me back and forth, and laughed as they traveled to the grand city. While playing, the children also took turns taking care of their toddler sister, while their mother went to the nearby forest to fetch firewood. For them, a small label was also like a treasure, which they stuck onto me with kamanchur, millet rice used as a paste. I remember the day the Talayari Tevar came to demand tax from Lakshmi's mother. She looked at him, her hands rough with field work, and she said that her meager earnings were barely sufficient to feed her children. She hadn't heard from her husband, who went to Manimuttar 5 months ago in search of work. She begged him, how could she pay? The Talayari Tevar shrugged his shoulders and said, "Adukku naanga ennama seiya mudiyum? What can we do about that? You have to pay the tax this year. Don't blame us later." His words lingered long after he left. That fateful day, Talayari Tevar came with 4 men along with him. They lunged on me, struggled and grappled, pulling and lifting me, and finally tore me away from the house that I was been guarding for so many years. They hoisted me on their heads and walked away. At first, the children thought this is another game. They started following us, mimicking a wedding procession. Pee, 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 pee. Tedam, tatakina, tatakina. Little Srinivasan also joined, dancing, not realizing that they were carrying me like a funeral bier. Only Lakshmi understood. She sat quietly on the doorstep, tears rolling down her cheeks. As they took me away from the house, my heart grew heavy. Will I ever see my little friends again? Who will guard them? Who will tell their story?
Now that the door is gone, I, the wall, stand incomplete. That afternoon, Lakshmi and Srinivasan were sitting in the threshold of their house. Neither of them spoke. I hear the baby cry. Srinivasan ran and he touched the baby. The moment he touched, he just pulled his hand back. Akka, Papa, sududaka, Papa, Parka, sududaka, he said. And Lakshmi gently carried the baby. But I could see the tremble in his fingers. There was fear. The baby was burning with fever. Rengammal came late in the evening, carrying firewood in her head. And while she was gathering it, she was stung by a scorpion. The pain was visible in her face, but she was silent. She quietly went and sat next to the children, and then she carried the baby. At that moment, looked like her heart stopped. No matter how hard she tried, she couldn't control her tears in front of the children. Enna petta taaye, and she clung to the baby around her. Not knowing what was happening, the children frightened, they also burst out tears. Then they went and sat next to the mother. Days passed. There was no messages from Manimutharan. It was the cold month of Kartika. The winds rushed through the door entrance as there was no door. I watched them shiver. I watched the little baby grow sick day by day. That night I can never forget. The cold had no mercy on them. The child's cry fell silent forever. Rangammal's grief was beyond words. She continued to live only for the sake of Lakshmi and Srinivasan. Days passed. One evening, Srinivasan came back from school. He actually started going to school also. While he was back from the school, he found a colorful matchbox picture. He was very excited about it. He got it home and showed it to his sister. She didn't show any interest. She was sad. Then he got annoyed and said, Akka, enakku pasikeka, kanji utuka, he said. Trembling voice, Lakshmi replied, Thambi kanji illada. Then she was like, Neither kalayila senjiye, yen na paathene. Srini said, There is no kanji, Thambi. I went outside, a dog came in and drank all the kanji. We don't have a door. The hungry and angry Srinivasan just ran away. Lakshmi was worried. She didn't know what to tell her hungry mother when she comes back. At that time, they didn't know there was something going to change in the evening that day. I could hear the hurried steps of Srinivasan. He came. He said, Akka, நான் கதவை பார்த்தேன்க்கா கண்ணால பார்த்தேன் அந்த பள்ளிக்கூடத்துக்கு பின்னாடி சாவடி இருக்குல்ல அங்கதான் நம்ம கதவு இருக்கு நான் கண்ணால பார்த்தேன்க்கா. Lakshmi immediately grabbed him and they both rushed. I stood still, but my heart went along. They rushed and then Lakshmi gently rubbed the termite mud from the door and she rested her face. She smiled. She cried. And then she held Srinivasan. And they all held the door together. It was nice to see them. I was still standing, still waiting. Not just for the door, but for the house to become a home. Thank you.
What a lovely story. Thank you so much.
There was a member in the audience who had to acknowledge what a wonderful story, which is thank you, Nakib. Thank you, Purnima, for choosing this story, for preparing this story, caring for this story, and with all the grace and love that you brought this story. The stage is yours. You have anything to say, Nakib?
First, Ankit, I'm very happy that I was able to choose this story because I had actually planned for something, another story. But then when I came across this story, this kind of pulled me to see, two things I would want to actually say. One thing is, till yesterday, I never got to practice this story with Purnima. So I was kind of a little worried. Will I be able to do it? Will I be able to take it through? So Ankit told me, don't worry. And then Purnima messaged me. I narrated the story to Ankit and he was very happy. Then I thought, okay, then I'm good to go. So Ankit, like everybody said, it feels like those Tuesdays and Mondays felt like, after a hard day and a lot of thinking, then come back to the sessions felt like coming back home. like they say in Hindi, no? अब सारा काम खत्म हो गया, पैर पसार के बैठ जाओ और अभी शुरू करो कहानी क्या हो रही है. It was like that. Yes. So I'm really thankful to Ankit. The second thing I chose this story was to show the resilience in people. A drought-prone land and the people, their struggle, and yet they don't give up. The resilience is there not just in adults. You know, I wanted to show that here the people, the roots run really deep. So this story comes from 1950s, and after this, after all this injustice and oppression about the tax, the farmers went to protest. And now we see, you know, the protests still continue. Our land still faces injustice, and every time we face oppression and injustice, this is a reminder, you know, timeless stories that tell us that we always have been resilient, we fight oppression, and stand for what is right and what is justice. Thank you.
So much, Nakhi. Purnima?
Thank you for opening the door with me. And thank you for listening. Actually, I don't know, like when I joined this session, I never used to turn on my camera. It took me 3 weeks for me to turn my camera on and sit. From there, I have narrated a story. Thank you, Ankit. Thanks a lot. It means a lot to me. And these sessions actually push me beyond my comfort zone. And I need to thank my son also. He was doing a course with Ankit on the adolescent stories. So he pushed me to go for this. And thank you. Thank you, everybody. And thank you, Naki, for sharing it with me.
Nakib was the one who found this story, and I think she's found a gem of a story, isn't it? What so much heart in this story, so much love in this story, which also reminds us how many stories are just out there in the world that have not been seen yet, have not been heard yet. To all the farmers, to all the people who are working, laboring the farms, laboring the construction sites, so many stories must be living with them that we have not yet heard. So it just expands our role as a storyteller, not just of people who tell stories, but people who also listen to stories and people who see people and make their stories visible and heard. So thank you so much for this choice of this story, and also for doing so much justice to this story with your hard work. It's really good to hear both of you, Nakib and Purnima. You have excelled yourself, really. Like what we have seen today is something we just saw it coming, but we had never seen this. So thank you so much. Very
Thank you,
slowly,
Ankit, and thank you to all the mentors and all the peers who supported, you know, and gave us feedback and encouraged us.
many
you.
times audiences, you might have heard this word mentors, and they must be wondering who these people are. So if you stay back just a little longer, there are two more stories waiting for us. And the moment these stories get over, we will introduce you to all the people that we are acknowledging as mentors. These are all the people who have been learners in the past, who have come in voluntarily, generously giving their time, listening to the new learners, giving them feedback, early in the morning and late at night, sometimes after 12, sometimes 3 in the morning. These mentors have been there for learners. So I would want the audience and all the learners to see them, but just 2 stories away.
And now we have Maliti, who will bring us the next story, The Man Who Searches for the Truth. And today she brings us the story of a seeker who stood before truth itself, only to receive a request that changed everything. I welcome Malti to tell us about it.
Once upon a time, many, many years ago, there was a young man who wanted to know the truth about everything. He had questions, so many questions. What is truth? Who is truth? Where is truth? Is truth the only way to live, or is there any alternatives? Every night he went to bed He pondered these questions. As he pondered and pondered and pondered, sleep stopped being his friend. Finally, he couldn't stand this question anymore. He went to his father and spoke to him. Father, we discussed this over and over, but I need to know what is truth. Where is truth? And the father said, Son, if you need to know the truth, go and find it. Out there, the big wide world, there are many, many, many people who might be able to answer your questions. Go and find it. Hopefully, come back as a better and different man for your questions. As the father said, the young man prepared himself, the food, the clothes, the money, and set off into the world in search of the questions what, where, and how is truth. The young man went from country to country, teacher to teacher. One has sent him to this place, the other sent him to that place, the other sent him to this place. But everyone in their own way said, we can answer only so much. You have to go and find truth. Go and find her. She'll answer all your questions. As they said, so the young man did. Someone stated that truth lived on the top of the mountain, so the man began climbing the mountain. He climbed, he climbed, he climbed with all the efforts of pushing and pulling, the weight of the question upon him. When he reached the top of the mountain where the truth lived, the young man stopped. He stopped and then called him, Truth? Truth? Are you in there? In an old, weather-worn, croaky voice said, Come in, my son. Even though the young man's heart was almost to his throat, he entered the darkened cave. It took a while for his eyes to get adjusted to the darkness. When they became adjusted in front of him, before him, he saw what he did not expect to see. The truth was ugly. The truth was disgusting. Her breast hung down to the knees. Her breath stunk when she spoke. Her hair hung like a rat tail and her skin hung. Everything on truth was ugly. But when she spoke with the young man, when she started sharing her wisdom with the young man, all his questions were answered one after the other after the other. Finally, she finished speaking with the young man. The truth asked the young man, Where will you go? What will you do now? And the young man said, I'm really grateful for the wisdom you shared to me. I'll go out and share the people, the wisdom you shared to me. The world will be a better place because I'm a better person. And truth said, What will you tell them about me? And the young man said, I'll tell them that you removed the darkness from my eyes. I'll tell them that you lifted my heart. I'll tell them that you gave wings to my soul and said the truth. Tell them I'm beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you, Malati. And just amazing. Like, I have no words to say for it. Like, it's a question that, one struggles with all their life. And it's just, we would like to know what's the process was like.
Okay, so first I was searching for the stories. I was very impressed by the story of the leopard woman. So when I was watching the story, it was a story, folktale by Jan Blake. And below that video, I got this video and then it impressed me and the story chose me. So I started working on it, as Ankit said. And yeah, the journey was very still. My hands are shivering. So it was like that only. But when the days passed by, when I get familiar to the story, I was started telling to myself and the people around me, even they hear or not, doesn't matter to me. And then I practiced with the help of all the mentors, all the peers. Ankit, I should thank you. Thank you so much for choosing me to be joining in this course because I don't even know what is going to happen in this course, but when days passed by, what was missing in my life, I got through this journey. And I thank everybody. I should thank Archana first. So because of Archana, I had a chance to work in a
NGO, and then after that, I got chance to work with Ankit, and from where this journey started. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Malati. And I want to give a little background to this. So the nonprofit she's talking about is called Prabaha Foundation. And Prabaha Foundation works with adolescents, students of grades 7, 8, and 9, who are interested in problem solving and who are interested in problems of the world, particularly climate. And these are some of the students that they scout across India and offer them a residential camp in Hyderabad, mostly hosted in Triple IT Hyderabad for the past few years. And that is where I also work as a mentor. I am a teacher there of social emotional learning, and I work with adolescents. And that's where I met Malati, and I just loved her as a human. I just think she's just such a natural facilitator, and she's such a natural storyteller. And I almost like scouted her and pulled her into the course, telling like, trust me, there is something in the course, you should just come and join. And at that time, she had no idea because she had only seen me doing theatric things, mostly like social emotional learning, having no aspect of storytelling in it. But she almost trusted me with this. And she was working an incredibly hard schedule there. Like she was waking up 4, 5 in the morning and working till like, 12. And despite that, the first 4 sessions she attended while she was working in the camp. And so she's made this all happen. And I really look forward to a very long storytelling journey for you, Malti. Malti is also doing some very interesting work, which interested me. Malti, do you want to talk about your classes?
Yeah, okay. So I'm taking Hindi spoken classes for adults, basically the Tamil speakers. So I take Hindi classes for them, only spoken. And also 2 kids are with me. I teach Hindi for them also. So it is Asan Hindi, so my Instagram page.
Yes, I think you should put the link of the Instagram on the chat. And she is quite good at it. Within a year, she's like 25,000 people following her. And she's chosen such a nice niche. She's teaching Hindi to Tamil speakers. That's what she's doing brilliantly as a independent freelance person. A lot of respect and admiration for you, Malati.
Thank you.
Which also reminds us of another interesting class that one of member in the audience is running. We have among us Ranjani ji, who is running English classes for all the grown-ups who couldn't get a chance to learn English early on in life, but are now realizing how valuable English could be for finding the resources for connecting better with the world. And she's running this as incredibly affordable costs. Each session is like 100 or 200 rupees. So it's like a seva she's doing to the world. Ranjani is right here, and I would also love her to share her number in the chat so that more and more people who are listening to this, who are there in the audience, reach out to her for their families. It's an incredible gift you can give to your parents, your grandparents, anybody who could not join these sessions because they cannot understand English. And it's such a barrier that we should cross at some point. So I highly encourage anybody who's listening to this to sign up for her English classes. So thank you, Malati, and thank you, Ranjani. And now we move on. Stories often end at the same place where they begin. And so would be our evening. In the very beginning, we heard a story about a cow that cannot lie, a cow that lives in the womb of the earth. And it is time that we listen to that story again as a way of concluding our evening. Once the story gets over, I'll make you familiar with all the mentors who have been a part of this process. But for now, let's listen to Deepti and Tanvi tell us Punya Kodi.
ಧರಣಿ ಮಂಡಲ ಮಧ್ಯದೊಳಗೆ ಮೆರೆಯುತಿಹ ಕರ್ನಾಟ ದೇಶದಿ ಇರುವ ಕಾಳಿಂಗನೆಂಬ ಗೊಲ್ಲನ ಪರಿಯ ನಾನೆಂತು ಪೇಳ್ವೆನು. ಎಳೆಯ ಮಾವಿನ ಮರದ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಕೊಳಲನೂದುತ ಗೊಲ್ಲ ಗೌಡನು ಬಳಸಿ ನಿಂತ ಕರುಗಳನ್ನು ಬಳಿಗೆ ಕರೆದನು ಹರುಷದಿ ಗಂಗೆ ಬಾರೆ ಗೌರಿ ಬಾರೆ ತುಂಗಭದ್ರೆ ತಾಯಿ ಬಾರೆ ಪುಣ್ಯಕೋಟಿ ನೀನು ಬಾರೆ ಎಂದು ಗೊಲ್ಲನು ಕರೆಯಲು. In the womb of the earth was glorious Karnataka, and there lived a cowherd named Kalinga. He had lots and lots of cows. Every day he would take them to the forest for grazing. Under the mango tree, he would sit there, play the flute, and all the cows would happily listen to him. And when he calls Gange, Gauri, Tungabhadre, they would all run to him and give him pots and pots of milk. Of all the cows he had, there was this cow for whom truth was everything. She would never lie. Truth was God. And she was Punyakoti. One such day, when all the cows were grazing in the forest, ಹಬ್ಬಿದ ಮಲೆ ಮಧ್ಯದೊಳಗೆ ಆರ್ಭುತಾನೆಂದೆಂಬ ವ್ಯಾಘ್ರನ್ ಅಬ್ಬರಿಸಿ ಹಸಿ ಹಸಿದು ಬೆಟ್ಟದ ಕಿಬ್ಬಿಯೊಳು ತಾನಿರ್ದನು. ಸಿಡಿದು ರೋಷದಿ ಮೊರೆಯುತ್ತಾಹುಲ್ ಗುಡುಗುಡಿಸಿ ಘೋರಿಡುತ್ತ ಚಂಗನ್ ತುಡುಕಲೆರಗಿದ ರಭಸ ಕಂಜಿ ಚದರಿ ಹೋದವು ಹಸುಗಳು. That was Arbhuta, the hungry, ferocious tiger who lived in the same forest in the peak of the mountain cave. He saw the cowherd grazing. He was very hungry. He took a leap. All the cows went helter-skelter. But Punyakoti ಎಂಬ ಹಸು ತನ್ನ ಕಂದನ ನೆನೆದುಕೊಂಡು ಮುನ್ನ ಹಾಲನು ಕೊಡುವೆನೆನುತ ಚಂದದೀತ ಬರುತ್ತಿರೆ. All Punyakoti could remember or think was about her little baby. She wanted to feed him. He was back in the shed. Just thinking about her baby, she came without even realizing that she was right in front of the hungry tiger now. He wanted to pounce on her, slice her stomach, eat her all up. He said, I have got my prey, I will kill you right now. But Punyakoti pleaded, please let me go for a minute. I'll go feed my baby and come back. I have a small baby waiting for me. I promise that I'll come back and then you can eat me all up. But Tiger wouldn't agree. He said, who will come for dying? I don't believe you are lying. But Punyakoti said, Satyave namma tayi tande, Satyave namma bandhu balaga, Satyavakyake tappi nadedare mechchana paramatmanu. She said, truth is my mother, truth is my father, truth is all my relatives and friends. And if I break it, God will not approve of me. I can't do that. Please let me go and I promise I will come back. And then Tiger had to agree and Punyakoti left to feed her calf.
ರಮಲಿಯನು ಕುಡಿಯಲಮ್ಮ ಆರ ಬಡಿಯಲಿ ಮಲೆಯಲಮ್ಮ ಆರ ಸೇರಿ ಬದುಕಲಮ್ಮ ಆರು ನನ್ನಗೆ ಹೆತ್ತವರು. Punyakoti slowly reached her shed. When she reached, her baby jumped and hugged her and said, Amma, where did you go? I was very worried for you. Punyakoti lovingly caressed the baby and said, first drink your milk. I'll tell you everything. She then recounted how the tiger had captured her, how the tiger wanted to eat her, and how she requested the tiger to let her meet the baby for the last time. She also told that she has promised the tiger that she would have to go back. Listening to this, the baby started crying profusely, and he said, don't go, Amma. If you go, I'll be an orphan. Who will feed me milk? With whom shall I sleep? Who will take care of me? Don't go. Punyakoti started crying and looked at the baby and said, I have given my word to the tiger. I will have to go. And to all the fellow cows, she said, sisters and mothers, the one who grew with my mother, Take care of this baby. After I'll be gone, he'll be an orphan. Do not hurt him with your hooves. Do not hurt him with your horns. To the baby for the last time she said, the Runadubandhan we had is over. I am now going the mouth of the tiger. And slowly she left for the cave. She reached the cave and the tiger was standing right there. She looked in the eyes of the tiger and said, see, I told you I'll come back. Take my body parts. Take my flesh. Take the blood in my heart. Take it all, brother. Eat it and stay happy. The tiger did not know how to react. He was confused and agitated. And he said, what have you done? How will I eat you now? And if I eat you, where shall I go? There's nothing left for me now. Slowly, he walked at the edge of the mountain. He looked ahead. It was still darkness. But now the first light was slowly coming up. He realized something. He looked back at Punyakoti and said, go back to your calf. Go back to your world. Let your calf drink your milk again. He looked at the light and told to himself, can promise be greater than breath? There's nothing I can do that can equal to the sacrifice this cow made for me. There's only one thing that I feel will justify this. And he jumped off the cliff, giving up his life. His body banged the earth and the blood coming out. He stayed there motionless. And Punyakoti stood there and saw the sun rising up.
Since you've already heard how you felt about the story, if there is anything new, because you were also the first people performing, I am very sure in the beginning there was way more emotions and way more nervousness. But now that we have settled in this space, if there's anything more you want to speak, Tanvi and Deepti, you're welcome.
Yeah, I just wanted to share. I mean, I think my teacher was here. He's not there right now. I think Satyanarayan sir. I remember him playing this song when we were in school. He had brought a tape recorder, played it in the school. All the children had cried. Even he had cried. And that's how the introduction to the story was for us. One of my friends is also there. I mean, she was in his class then. I couldn't get that chance, but I think that's how it was introduced. Such a touching, it has always stayed. I don't even remember how do I know this. It has like, that's how the folk tales are, maybe just comes, I've always, I didn't even realize that no one else wouldn't know this. I mean, it's very much to Karnataka, I never knew. I mean, until I shared with one of this. Yeah, just happy to have shared it with everybody.
Yeah, I think I would want to say 2-3 things that I realized while I was understanding Tiger's perspective. One is that he knew only 2 truths. One was truth of his hunger, and one was the law of the jungle. And both of his truth were very self-preservatory. And now Punyakoti comes and she destroys his truth with this third kind of truth, which is very selfless. And now that he knows about this truth, he cannot go back being a hungry tiger. There's no forest left for him. He cannot just play this game of prey and predator anymore. And that's why I think this is what I feel, that probably that's why he would have thought that the only thing equivalent to the purity that he saw or witnessed is his life. And that's why he would have given his life. Because we were discussing, he would have just left the jungle, right? Why would he give up his life for this? Probably that truth shattered something, some illusion within him. I think he just came up above his core nature. Like, and I think today is that theme. We saw truth and tiger and Om and oneness. So I think that theme resonates a lot today. It's all about truth and resilience and oneness and tiger and coming up, like rising above our core nature, that instinctive animalistic nature that we have. That's what I realized when I tapped into tiger. Yeah. One folk tale could bring so many layers of understanding is what I realized when we did this.
It's so true. You have brought also this wisdom with you that, of course, we see around us people who please the power and who are scared of the power. And then comes characters like Punya Koti, who shatters this worldview of binaries where we have to live by pleasing the powerful or by fearing the powerful. And we get to show our humanity to the powerful. That's thank you for such a beautiful reminder. I also just want to build upon what Deepti said. It's not just a beautiful story she received, it's also how she received it. She received it from a teacher. And this tells us what teachers do. Teachers create these experiences that live with the learners for such a long time, isn't it? A song they introduced, a poem they recited, a story they said. Maybe they went home and forgot all about it and started preparing for the next lesson plan. But you never know what a child takes home, what a student takes home, and when in life it comes of use. So thank you for this reminder. And I think we also just want to acknowledge all the teachers who have come before us, who have kind of taught us things and have carried over the traditions of loving children and using stories as a way of loving children. So with this, I think I'm making space. Before I come to the audience, I just want to make some space for our mentors. So many of them who took up time out of their lives, their busy lives. Some of them live in residential school. Some of them are homemakers. Some of them work in corporate, do volunteering in the evening, and then come at night to mentor some of you. So I just want to name all of them first, and then if some of them are still here, I would just give them some space to talk. I would want warm claps as I name these people. Let me first name Dr. Swati. And there is Sharmila. And there is Sarvika. And there is Yashas, who you can see smiling, always there in the audience. And there was Aparajita. And there was Mohinish. And there was Hima, who was mentoring for the first time and has been the force behind so many stories. There was also Sheetal, and there is a figure that is always there at any time during the day and night. There is Shalu there. So just taking these names to acknowledge a lot of contributions that they have made. And also Pranali, who has been the person who has put together at least a third of the posters and a lot of this event together. So thank you, all of you. And I can see Yashas. I can see perhaps Dr. Swati. Some of the mentors had to leave because they had other things to do, but whoever is here, I can see Hima. Let me start with Hima. Anything you would like to say?
I would like to say that I'm grateful I always, the last year when I was a student, a lot of people had helped me. So I'm very, very grateful that the circle is complete. I was able to help a lot of them here. So I'm very thankful to Ankit for having this course. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you,
this
Hima.
opportunity.
I'm very happy when people come back and tell how much they have gained confidence when they work with you. So you're doing something very good in your mentoring session. I'm yet to talk more with you to figure out what your magic recipe is, but whatever you're doing is working very well. I just want to thank you. Yashas.
Yes. This time I couldn't mentor many of them. I would be the listener only, but it was such a great experience. Also, I was sent to mentor with Hima or with Aparajita, and I could learn so much from them, from Hima and from Aparajita. Like, there is so much to learn, and from you, just by being in that rehearsal, what inputs you give, what feedback you give, and it there's so much to learn in every aspect. And yeah, I feel like I joined a little late, but yeah, it was such a good experience, and also to witness all the stories of Priyanka and Krishna and so many other people who presented the story. I enjoyed all their stories, and also for other stories that are coming tomorrow, all the best to them. And those who have performed today, it was very, very good. I enjoyed it. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much.
Thank you, Yashash, for coming on the other side and becoming an elder of the community and mentoring people. And you bring your enthusiasm and that smile, and that does so much to the performers who are looking at you while they're performing. So thank you so much, Yashash. Any other mentor who's still in the call? If you're here, I would love to hear you speak. But until then, we have so many members in the audience who have seen and heard so many of the stories. You want to open the platform to the audience if there is something they want to speak. And I would love to end my speech, but a little reminder, this is just the day one. There is a big day two waiting for you, and about 12, 13 more stories, 16, 17 more storytellers, just like the one you experienced today, waiting with their stories for you. So we would meet again Sunday, 4 p.m. India time. But now we want to open the space for anybody in the audience who would love to speak. You can just raise your hand and we'll call your names. And we'll quickly hear everyone. Swati?
Thank you so much, Ankit. I think I did not get a chance to give my Oscar speech. So if it is okay, I would love to do that now. So first of all, I'm not sure if Sharmila is around, but she encouraged me to, join this one-of-a-kind workshop. I'm very grateful to her. And she did not only encourage me, she used to check with me, how are you feeling about it? And she was the one who motivated me that whatever it is, just play out, participate all out. And so very grateful to her. And big shout out to my tribe out here. I have learned so much from all, different perspectives in the room. And it gave me personally a lot of learning, how we all are different, but still we all are so same. And big shout out to Ria again, the great co-partner. So, the one who made the storytelling very seamless for me. And last but not least, so this from very first session, at the end of the session, I always used to feel subtle change within me. Something expanded, something contracted. In fact, there were a lot of untouched compartments which were not. And I'll say big thank you to you, Ankit, for being such a great guru. And thank you so much, heartfelt thank you. I know whatever you offered us in the workshop was a gold dust particle, just a teeny tiny. There is a whole gold mine there, and there is so much to learn from. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I look up to you. Thank you, always, for everything.
Thank you. Thank you, Swati. And I open the platform for any member in the audience who would love to take this space and speak a few words. I can notice that Shalu is there. Perhaps she can speak a few words if she's okay. You don't have to turn on your video, Shalu, if you can just speak whenever you feel comfortable.
Hi, yeah, thank you. I am not well, and that is why my camera has been off through the storytelling, but I enjoyed it thoroughly. I loved listening to everyone. A few of these stories I have been hearing in the past week because we were rehearsing together. And oh my God, the teacher inside me has come out like a proud mommy today when I saw all of them performing and doing so great. So I'm really happy. It was amazing experience. And like Pichle Saal ka, all the nostalgia is coming back when we were the students and we were performing. So great, like great job. and the path has just opened for all these people for doing amazing sessions, going and making the change with their storytelling. All the best, everyone, and congratulations.
Thank you, Shalu. I want to hear Kavya and Samruddhi briefly, and then I'll come again to the audiences. Kavya?
I just wanted to say that I was just coming back from my career break. But I was like really eager to learn. I'm glad that I was still able to join and then pay eventually. I was not like that was really generous. And I was telling my friend yesterday that I felt like you were always providing more than what we were like, I feel like the 1 hour, there was so much more that you were giving and offering. And it was really generous. And then another thing about Jemima, I'm not sure if I'm
Yeah, her name
pronouncing
is
her
Jemima.
name.
Yes.
Yeah. So I had a chat with her after her session, and I was just so inspired by how she just went forward with her idea about what was important and what needed to be done. It's really nice to come across people who are passionate about something and care about something about themselves and just go forward. There's no reason for her to stop. She just went forward and she still is. So I had a chat with her and I was crying the entire night. I was like, how can someone be like, so passionate? I was just looking up to her. So it was just, I felt like there was always some surprise. Like that's how I felt. And that's how I feel about life in general, that then there's always a surprise element that next day I don't know what's going to happen. And that's how I felt in these sessions that, hey, there is something that I'm going to learn today. There's not much that I feel like I can retain in general or like apply in general, but there's so many pointers or things that I would like to go back to and apply in my teaching or my art itself. Like it was very structured in a way where I know that I can go back or like ask you or ask people in the community. Another thing was like, is it possible to connect with people offline in the community and keep this going? Because I don't want this to stop in a way. Like I do want to, in somewhere, like be connected with the community and keep this going and the practice going. And the fourth thing was Mansi. I really didn't want to. I was not feeling like I want to perform. I felt like I need a lot more attention or I need to be in a perfect condition to perform. I was too tired and exhausted with work itself to think of performing. But as soon as I got in touch with her, she was always like checking ki karo, chalo, ye karo, we need to practice. Then I also started becoming more accountable and we used to make sure we are accountable. So I started feeling more confident कि अच्छा मेरे से भी हो सकता है ऐसे नहीं कि I will stop in between for some reason. I can go through the entire course and feel like I've learned and completed and given the graduation thing. So I'm just so glad that this happened. Yeah, that's all. I've just written points because I couldn't speak everything.
Thank you for that, Kavya. And yes, we are trying to come closer to each other. Whenever there's a chance, we meet in cities like Delhi, in cities like Bombay, and Vadodara. People have met together in Bangalore. And as more and more of us are learning and growing, we are figuring out opportunities to meet for residencies as well. Just last month, we had our first residency where a lot of our learners came together, lived together, and yeah, we're exploring that as to spread that in more geographies. I'll quickly hear from Samruddhi.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank Ankit, Sharmila, Hima, and Sarvika. They appreciated and guided me so well because there were so many self-doubts, and I also realized how important it is to be appreciated from the mentors, because this happened after a long time. When I was in school, I used to be the topper, so I was appreciated a lot. But then in between, I lost that. So suddenly, getting that little push from the mentors, it meant a lot to not give up. And then there was this perfectionist inside my head was like, you are not giving your best, and you can do better, and so you should not perform. When Ankit also gave an option that you can perform for the next in the next batch, I considered it in my head, but then I was like, I know that I am not gonna actually work for the next 3-4 months. I will be the same if I don't perform today. So I need to perform, and however the performance goes, but I can then change. Like, I will be a better, more empowered person maybe after 3 months if I perform today and face it. So yeah,
Thank
thank
you,
you.
Samriddhi. I am noticing a few members in the audience who have been here, who have heard all the stories, opening the platform for them to speak. Anybody?
May I, Ankit?
Yes, Ranjani.
The irrepressible character. Yeah, lovely selection of stories. I can only see that the quality is, going up from what we did and what, the storytellers did today. Amazing, amazing performance, each one of them. I loved each one of the stories. So much to take back, so much to learn, so much to sit with also, And just wanted to share that the tiger story shared by Deepthi and Tanvi, we have a version of it in Telugu literature too, which is called Govu Vyagramu. We also learned it somewhere in school. So I could see how certain stories, have their presence almost maybe everywhere in India. We just need to, find those parallels and see how they work. So that was an eye opener for me. I never knew that one such similarity existed in Kannada literature, but it was beautiful. The way Deepti sang, oh my God, it was beautiful. Kannada is so beautiful. All Indian languages are beautiful, and the Tamil story chosen by Nakib, thank you so much. I can speak Tamil, I understand Tamil, I can't read and write, but the choice of the story, what a story. Thank you so much. And thank you everyone else. Each one of the stories was beautiful, beautiful. And thanks, Ankit. Let me share in this platform. It is because of Ankit I started my spoken English course. It was, a challenge that he threw at us. He said, now do some volunteering, do something, but don't do it for free. So I said, okay, we'll begin with 100 rupees per class. So I'm happy to share that 7 classes of my first batch are done. We just have 3 more classes with the first batch. My second batch is about to begin first week of August. I'll be advertising it tomorrow. So anyone who has not had an opportunity to learn English, you're most welcome. I'll make it as worthwhile and as joyful as possible. Thank you so much, Ankit.
Thank you, Ranjani. Anyone else in the audience who feels an urge to speak? Roshali? Yeah, I see Ashwin. Hello. Hello, Fufaji.
Ankit, I
This is a pleasant surprise.
your mother-in-law sent us the link, and I have to say it's an awesome work that you do. And what I had no idea that such a thing even exists, and it's a very important thing. Communication, every which way, no matter how, and what I see from here, that communication is not so much about the language you speak, because you see people speaking languages that you don't understand, but you look at their expressions, and a lot of times in the heat of the moment, people just turn into speaking their mother tongue, and the audience doesn't know the mother tongue, and still they relate to the emotions of that person. So this is an awesome eye opener for me. We do have a course similar to this, which is structured on an international basis, but I don't know how well it would structure for our audience in India, because it is only in one language, and that is English. but I have to say, I'm very impressed by all of the stories, Nakib's story, not only the stories, but everybody else's emotions that they brought into their story. I'm very impressed, very, very impressed. And I came on just because Ankit and Pranali had this set up. Oops, I think. So that's all I have to say at this point. And I really appreciate all the audience that have shared the journey with Ankit and Pranali. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And I'm glad that a family member now knows what do I do for a living. Thank you. Thank you so much. And Rushali?
Wanted to express the deep appreciation I've felt for all the stories that were presented today. Like, Ankit said that by the time you will perform, you would have listened to the stories multiple times. But while they were being presented, it was just magical. Like, from the beginning, like when Punyakoti's story came and the circle that we completed, to all the stories that have come in between, like Praveena's story, Mansi's story, Nakib's story, obviously, and everything. Like even Rekha's story was so impactful that I was just feeling it all. Like I was the host in between, and then I was like, no, control your emotions, host first, and then perhaps towards the end I would get to express it. So I am loving being part of this course and how the stories are just coming up around me. I just love reading and listening to stories. And thank you, Ankit, for bringing me in so that I could experience the taste of stories from all over India. Thank you.
Thank you. And this love
Only thing
also
what I have
brings a
to
little
say,
responsibility. Yeah, yes.
I'm sorry. I see storytelling is most likely a means to a bigger end, which is communication, overcoming the fear of speaking to an audience or even a single person in a group discussion. This is the means that leads to the confidence that is needed to express your inner self. And I see a huge importance of that in life for everybody. It doesn't have to be work related. Even within your family itself, sometimes you have a younger child that is hesitant to speak because there are older people speaking over there, but a course like this would encourage them to open themselves up. I'm close to 70 years old, so I can relate to the younger kids. And I see that communication is what confidence that you need to be able to express your inner self, irrespective of what others might see you as.
It is as if when you tell a story, you get revealed to an audience, And as you're rightly saying, it is a means to communication. And I'll take it a step forward to say community. When people sit together and reveal their hearts, it feels like we're all together somewhere, different, but together. And on that note, I think I want to acknowledge the end of today's performance. Just want to thank all the performers.
Can I say something, Ankit?
Yes, Mahesh.
Yeah, I was just
I'm
I don't want to
surprised.
barge in this thing out. I know I'm taking up, but okay, I'll just make it quick, right? It was really good to see you doing what you do. Usually when we speak, it's either work or firefighting. So it was really amazing. I want to thank Malti for inviting me here. I was inspired, learned a lot, and what can I say? Few lines that are, I don't know, somehow this is what is ringing in my head कि बोल के लब आजाद है तेरे, बोल ज़बां अब तक तेरी है, बोल के सच जिंदा है अब तक, बोल जो कुछ कहना है कह ले. I learned a lot. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mahesh, for ending our evening with that beautiful piece of poetry. And yes, we must speak our truth and we must speak of our love and create spaces where we can share them. So I'm just taking a moment to thank you, all the people in the audience. I want to thank Ashwin, thank you, Rushali, Samruddhi, Kavya, Swati, Malati, Hima, Tanvi, Ranjini, Priyanka. Thank you, Sayoni, Mansi. Thank you, Purnima. Thank you, Nakib, Ria, Mukti, Shalu, Mahesh, Iker. Thank you, Anshu, Pravina, Deepti, Rekha, Rasika Priti. Thank you, Abhishek. Thank you, Juhi, Pradeep, Priya, Maya, Rekha, Deepti, Anvesha, Pranali, Swati ji, Kiritika, Soumya, Dimple, Sujata, Dolly. Thank you, Harsha, and the one who has a 1+. So thank you. And thank you all the children who have surrounded their mothers and their fathers during the storytelling. I could see a child popping up here and child popping up from behind, and it was such a lovely sight. Thank you, all of you. And I welcome you all to more storytelling tomorrow, Sunday, 4 p.m. India time.